Good morning, good evening, no matter what time it is where you are at, it's time to experience some fantastic Street Fighter 6 play out here as we hit the halfway point for Street Fighter League Japan 2025. My name is St. Cola. I'm joined with Vicious. Good A Squad sits at the top rung, but everything is still in contention. There's going to be some electrifying matches as per usual, because we never lie about that, have we? My name is once again St. Cola. I'm joined with my boy Vicious. Brother, I had to reintroduce myself. I don't know why I did that, but I need to ask you how you feeling about these matches.
Hey, listen, man, sometimes I forget within all the hype that happens, and you're not wrong. When it comes to the current standings, it feels pretty close-knit, right? Good 8 squad being at 110 points doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room for the rest of the squads to catch up, right? Crazy Raccoon and Saishunkan Kumamoto, both at 90 points. And even looking at the bottom of the barrel, and I don't mean like the full bottom, but I mean like half of it, right? Nagoya, NTPOJA sitting at 90, OSAKA, CAG OSAKA at 70, and Fabu Gaming also at 70. This is a really tough call just going into it in comparison to what we had seen in Division F. Like the way that the point structure has been played out thus far, right before the halfway point, kind of spells a little less trouble in comparison. But one thing's for sure, right? I feel like no matter like how you spin it, no matter like who's going to be stepping up, there's always going to be something brewing. And that's exactly what's in mind for this week's Division S games, right? Victrix, Fabu Gaming having to face off against Good 8 Squad, Nagoya, NTPOJA versus Saishunkan Kumamoto, and then CAG OSAKA versus Crazy Raccoon as the marquee matchup. We don't even know what players are going to be put up for the away lineup, nor the characters, but we might have it. Just a little bit of a spoiler. We might have it, and boy, is it going to be quite the challenge. It's going to be sick.
It's super sick. Shouts out to Noru, by the way, joining the commentary squad out here for Street Fighter League Japan. As he did so for the World Warrior, will also be out here for this team-based tournament. But in terms of some spoilers, there might be some switch-ups for some of these players and their characters, even so deep in the season. And for good reason, I think they're trying to acclimate with some of the matchups, maybe get ready for certain sort of styles that they see out here. But either way, once again, it all equals some great Street Fighter action. And as you mentioned, I'm so excited to see all this stuff. The halfway part of the season was going to be gunning for as many points as possible, as per usual, but even more so as we get down and dirty, as everything is in contention. CAG OSAKA definitely has to make that run, so as Victrix favorite, Fabu Gaming, as they're 70-70. So, you know, a good 40 bomb will definitely put them at that top spot, depending on what happens. Good 8 Squad and their opponents after that, man. But Good 8 Squad, Fabu Gaming, I think are at, the Red Bull Gaming sphere right here. I saw them selling their merch on Twitter, and I was like, man, I wish I could be out there and grab some. And the No Motion Cats in full costume. God, I love them. They are always ready with the perfect fits every single time.
I feel like they have a whole wardrobe full of like different characters and whatnot, so I wouldn't be too surprised if they had the entire cast, including the female characters, honestly. The fact that Storm Kubo is there with them is really, really cool. But what's also cool is the debut of Naruto's commentary on Street Fighter League Japan is actually a blessing. We got to see him test drive his commentary skills over at the World Warrior event on Sunday. So not too long ago, I felt like although I don't understand like all the Japanese that they're speaking, I feel like his timing and his cadence is pretty on point. Like his excitement levels in regards to things that are happening on the screen have been pretty much on point. I do want to find like English translations to see how he holds up in the commentary sphere, because he's a very educated and well-rounded player, and has also gone through like the runnings of like streaming against other top players, have been like a coach, a little bit of supplementary support towards a lot of the other players as well, and for good measure too. And we talk about what's exactly at stake here when it comes to every single day of Street Fighter League Japan, right? 15 million yen on the line, going towards the top 3 with an extra bit amount of cash for those that make it into the grand finals in the playoffs. There's a lot to really be in contention here. Like, that's not even just that, right? 9 million for first is a pretty big deal, but also being labeled champions of Japan, being able to get trained out, bus out, whatever, cabbed out over to the arena, to the Ryogoku Kokugikan, and also facing off against SFL EU champions, SFL US champions, and just holding themselves in high regard as the defending champions overall in Japan. That's a good feeling, man.
That's a super good feeling. You'll be able to represent such an important thing over here in the land Japan, because Street Fighter League is regarded as like damn near a sporting event. We talk about it so much. We've seen it over at the finals. We'll probably see it again at the finals coming up real soon. How electrifying it is out there in person, how loud the crowd gets, and how much Japan supports these players. You know, it's really going to be able to support Japan that way. So I mean, there's a lot to be gunning for. And Speaking of US and EU, I think the teams are getting announced and revealed. At least for the US, just recently saw Blaz's team get revealed. That'll be super sick to see.
Right?
And Falcons, yo, the lineups are so dope. The character diversity too as well. So even if they went out here, they still got to fight some champion teams. And once again, we're mentioning these awards, well, and these prizes as well. We do have the awards up here. Grand Finals MVP, one player from the Grand Finals team will win that one. Division MVP award, that's one player from each division. Rookie of the Year award, which we have hot contention for that, Tagaki and many others. Drive Gauge Efficiency Award, that's who spent the most drive gauge during all these matches. And Drive Impact Award, aka the Uncheck Award, although people are getting better and better about looking out for that, maybe because the award is on or because that's been working out against a lot of people. I'm not sure, but that is one that they're all getting for 50,000 yen each for those awards.
Damn, that is a good amount of yen to keep in your pocket, keep around you, just in case you need to hit up the local konbini, I'll tell you what. But it's really cool to drive these incentives for a lot of the individualities, the individual players as well, just kind of like reward them for the effort that they've put in, week out, traveling all over the world to some of these events. And immediately right after this, right, they're going to be going to Evo France. I think majority of them are going to be going for that top spot, or at least as many points as possible to get themselves into Capcom Cup 12. But as we had mentioned throughout the entirety of the season, we've had a lot of support and collaborations. Vispo also being one of them. They have 2 live streams going on to conduct winning team interviews throughout every one of the matches. So if you do happen to understand Japanese, feel free to check them out as well. They're doing a fantastic job, right? All of their energy and support has been really, really on point so far. And honestly, I would love to like catch it back sometime. I know the AI generated captions are not enough for me. I need to get like somebody to translate it, hopefully. Maybe the editors do it. Who knows, right? But again, Vispo doing a phenomenal job this season. Really excited to see what they put out there for like some of these hard-hitting questions in regards to the winning interviews.
Yeah, I like to hear some of those, you know. Sometimes it's good to go to like the players after they get done on their streams, but they usually have like thousands of people in there giving them bits and things like that. So it's hard to also converse with them after a win or even a loss. So I'd like to see that as well, kind of get some insight and some of the matchups and things like that that they're thinking of. But right now, the first matchup we're going to be having is going to be Victrix Favu Gaming going up against Good 8 Squad, as y'all saw offline, online at the venue. Good 8 Squad leading the charge. Victrix Favu Gaming needs to get that big 40 bomb to at least be in contention with them. The differential might be in favor of Good 8 Squad, but either way, that'd be a great start to the second half of the season. For good reason. I mean, Victrix Favu Gaming definitely is having a better season than they did last season. I feel like last time they were kind of farmed for points, but now they've got a better, I think, it is what it is. You know, I feel like they're...
No, you're right. I laughed because you're right. You're on point.
Their strategy just wasn't there in full. It felt like they were a little bit discombobulated. It felt like towards the end they were starting to get a hold of things in Street Fighter League, but it was a little bit too late. But now they've got the characters, they've got the selects, they know where to place people. Sokka was a lot more informed in the fact that he has to play. So I do think that Victrix Favu Gaming is definitely a real threat. We've already seen them be a threat, but Good 8 Squad has been cooking up something devious. It's time to announce these teams. We'll start with Victrix Favu Gaming. Let's go right back to them and introduce these cats. Cold, hard math, the calculus getting done out here by Ryukichi with the Mai and the Ken. Fari, whatever it may be with those characters, he's going to be able to cook up the competition. After that, it's the hero of Sunrise, the sun shining on him. It's Moke with that Chun-Li and also Mai if need be. We'll see how things go down. After that, he digs the graves for you. It is Fujimura, the grave maker, utilizing that Mai and sometimes Chun-Li, but it's mostly been him on the Mai guy. And this one, not playing any Mai, it's going to be Aki and also Elena. It's the strongest spirit leading the charge. It's Sako, oldest of the group, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of the entirety of Street Fighter League, but still very prominent and powerful. This team is definitely out here looking to farm other people for points.
You know, I didn't realize. Oh Jesus, the lead over to the camera is scary. There's 3 potential Mai's on this team, which we will get into. I hope it does not happen. Let's talk about the home team introduction coming in. Our reigning champs here in Japan and also the world. It's not only the Good 8 Squad, it's the best 8 Squad, to be honest with you. Good 8 Squad coming in hot with a very stacked lineup. Also with a fresh performance coming in from World Warrior. 2 of the 4 actually making it into top 8 from yesterday's bout. Let's get a full introduction. We have the rookie, but also the fearless Sahara, one of my favorite Ed players to come into light this season. The man always speaking in tongues and also in poetry. Cosmic Buster. Of course it's Pugera coming in with potentially the Jory. Perhaps. We'll find out. If anybody knows, it's definitely the Singularity. Kawano! Always destructive with that Akuma. Always on demon mode. And the one to keep it all together. The honest hero. Gachikun! With that ever so difficult to read and manage Rashid. I'm so excited to see what they're currently preparing for, going in from World Warrior, going into Street Fighter League, and then eventually going into Evo France. Sahara doesn't need to show up, right? I don't know if he'll play Gatekeeper or not, but I would love to see it, personally.
Me too. You know, I like that he was playing Gatekeeper for the World Warrior, but did I just see the tiger shots from Pugera? Don't fake me out, bro. Don't hype me up. Don't show me something I can't have, all right? He's been going through a litany of characters. You mentioned the Jury. We'll see what comes through. Him having the right characters is going to be smart because you have to fight a lot of my guys out here. Bro, 2 Mai's, a Chun-Li, and an Elena. I mean, I'm going to ask you what you think about this, but we know the answer. What do you think about this?
It could have been 3 Mai's, dude. You should have done it for the lore. You should have done it for the memes. You're in the anchor spot. You're playing 3 out of 5. You could easily play Mai and then switch over to Chun if you wanted to.
Yeah.
That's not a real analysis, but if I were to be honest about it, this one gave me a little bit of a scare. I think Good 8 squad is going to be the most challenged that they've been throughout the season, having to face off against Ryukichi. His Mai has been so sharp. Just watching him on CFN, just watching his progression throughout World Warrior, this character is a terror in Ryukichi's hands. Followed up by afterwards Fujimura. Like, you're facing off against matchups that feel so dangerous that you cannot slack in any part of the 2 out of 3 set. But the fact that Kawano's pulling back the Luke again, this is not the first time. He had actually shown this off a little bit during World Warrior, during his top 8 progression. So I'm kind of curious as to why specifically he picks Luke for Mai. Is it because perhaps the damage output that Mai has is a little bit too much against Akuma, despite it only being 1,000 health deficit? Is it something that Luke has to get around Mai's pressure? I'm not too sure.
I was watching this yesterday with my stream, and they were telling me that he has been grinding this character out and grinding out the Luke. Don't have an answer for as to why it is Luke. And after he lost with the Luke during World Warrior, he switched right back to Akuma. But I'm wondering, like, why? Like, something in this matchup, like, is it like, as you mentioned, like the damage output that Mai can put on that is somewhat dangerous in other areas, but is even more so against Akuma now, even without level 1. But I feel like Akuma has so many good tools. We've seen it. We've seen Kawano play the matchup and play it very well. If you perfect parry, you get a DP right after. Like, the lurching forward DP definitely works out to avoid the follow-ups of the fans. The fireballs definitely can delete her fireballs off the table. I feel like there's a lot that Akuma can present in that matchup. Maybe it's a volatility. I'm not sure, but hopefully we'll get some answers from Kawano. But right now we're going to get the Ryukichi first. He said, I knew it was Luke. I was hoping he wouldn't come, but I knew this would be the first matchup. Either way, I'll just have to win. Word. He knew it was Luke.
Yeah, I mean, pretty standard, right? Like, Ryukichi had already gotten like a demo of Kawano's potential choice from World Warrior. I feel like he already knew it was coming. But yeah, I mean, looking at everything in comparison, like, band for band, like, in regards to their toolkit, I still think Akuma is the more complete character, right? Being able to, like, perfect parry and lunge forward with a lot of his normals, like Fierce, a very, very good normal that kind of hounds a lot of people. He even has like forward Fierce if need be to cover that extra distance. Comparatively, if you're looking at maybe Luke, I don't know about like frame data wise, but they're about the same. No, actually, Akuma's Fierce is a little bit faster. I don't think it's maybe like a range thing. I'm not too sure, but it's really hard to tell specifically why it is that Luke's going to be the choice, right? I think if you talk about the pressure that Luke presents, it's also kind of similar to Akuma, just off of a very shallow standpoint. Crouching medium punch being +1 on block, very similar to what Akuma can present with standing medium punch, right? If you get that knockdown, you get that corner situation. Both very similar startups. Not startups, but both very similar like routings to take, right? You force someone to block. They're forced to guess whether it's going to be a strike or a throw, being at a -1 positioning from wake up. It's very hard to tell like what happens afterwards. I think the damage output that Akuma can get off of like some of these frame traps are a little bit more than Luke, but again, there might be something on the table that I'm missing. There's something like under the microscope that Kawano might have found that he's trying to introduce within this matchup.
I'm still wondering it too, because we've seen also, even beyond the damage, like the mix that he's able to implement, the setups. We've seen that nasty EWC setup that he had with the cross up. I've seen him also go for like little resets here and there. It's weird because I feel like he's such a lab rat in terms of understanding how to break down different characters and things like that. He has some of the best defense, offensive defense. Like when he gets knocked down, it's hard to read what he wants to do, and that leads him to a lot of success, which also can stave off that volatility that I feel that some of the Akuma players think that they have in the first of two. So again, like what could it be? Maybe some like lurching forward standing medium or light, I don't know, but we're gonna find out. I guess Kawano said either way, you know, it's really a buff for me to be out this offline competition. I'm ready for this match. So Kawano loves the energy, electricity of being around the people. We saw that at Street Fighter League when he threw Punk way too many times to finish off Street Fighter League World Finals. But again, I just want to find out why Luke is the pick. And I'm gonna have to ask Scrawl after this. I'm sure, I mean, I've already seen him and heard him talk a little bit about it, but he doesn't really enjoy the matchup that much. I know you probably played this a couple of times, and I can't imagine.
I don't like it. I've played it on both ends. I've tried it because I played like a good amount of like Akuma low key, but obviously Luke has been my main forever. I think it feels the same exact way. So the only difference also is the kind of damage output Luke can get mid-screen off of Flash Knuckles, right? Having perfect Flash Knuckle sequences is pretty important. You can either dump it out for damage, or you could kind of go for Oki with tackle as well. Like you whiff the tackle, you're point blank, and you're forced into a guess scenario. I don't know how often Akuma gets to do that without like sacrificing major damage in comparison, or without having to go in for a drive rush and committing to that offense. Like you think about it, like Luke has consistent ways of leaving himself point blank without as many resources and without having to sacrifice as much damage. I think the perfect Flash Knuckle routes and sequences do just a little bit more damage in comparison to what Akuma can do going into like a medium Tatsu or something. Right, so maybe that's it. Maybe it's the conversions he gets mid-screen and how often he gets Oki for himself.
Time to find out. First match of the day, Ryukichi Kawano. Already hitting with the Shin with the crouching medium punch to start things off. Nice little 6-frame. Cross-cut DP, beautiful S. Not be able to get the throw. Take the trades though. Heavy knuckle up in the corner. No harassment with the crouching medium punch. Just getting that jab off and get the counter hit.
A little bit of a trade. Nothing really going to be in favor of Luke. Man, it was counter hit, crouching medium punch from the side of Mai, and still able to get that conversion because of the fact that she gets +4 off of that. That's kind of nuts. Counter hit, a little extra. Good. Yeah, pretty damn good, yeah.
Heavy knuckle. Chase out strike over the throw once again. Does catch him trying to dash up there with the jab. Suppressor, the back dash is clutch. Read the throw outside the corner, and now you're in the corner.
Oh, that is beautiful. I like that. From both ends, really. The defense was there. The almost conversion was there from Kawano, but Ryukichi smart enough to actually get a trade. And also still within the range of the fan. I think that was just very lucky from Ryukichi.
Yeah. Able to capitalize though, get that level 1 off. Swings the tie of the match. Got the enhanced fans coming through. Do not get caught up in the corner. That's exactly what Kono's trying to not do. The walk-up throw, though, didn't have the time to do it with a tap parry attempt. See with the raw fan. Back to mid-screen at the very least.
Ooh, that was sick. Drive rush forward, crouch jab, counter it, and up to get the conversion off of the fierce. That was insane. The hit confirm on this bad boy was kind of slick.
Spending every bit of bar to round things out. However, Ryukichi with a lot to utilize, and that means level 1 could be coming through real soon if he gets the confirm that he needs. Start things off right now. There it is. Round start. Get that enhancement. Wants that nice and early, which makes sense. Towards the corner. Follow up with the DP, of course. Extra damage now. Face out the parry.
She backs away. Medium punch.
Oh, no.
I don't know what that was towards the end. Ryukichi, he whiffed that grab, but luckily enough, no big punish came his way. No punish at all, but the conversion off of the counter hit again. These guys are catching each other's timings so well, but it's in the benefit of Ryukichi getting the first game right into Super.
Resource management, fantastic. Ryukichi having that level 1 at all times, being able to have the enhancement, the extra damage, the lead up. Kawano stays on the Luke. Let's get the DP right there, the rising up. Perfectly done, trying to lurch forward with the OD fireball. It's fan harassment in the back, though. Just using that for the lockdown approach. Pulling him up in the corner, and they stay medium buffered. All to this.
Oh. Just drifting through the overhead, does get perfect parry. Kawano's time to shine. Ryukichi potentially at burnout, but that perfect parry comes in clutch for him. Telling you, man, in the right hands, Mai could just be so detrimental to your own cause. Kawano, though, hold that statement.
Trade, not too bad. Trying to open him up. OD fireball to get some space up this place. We still got up in the corner. Low the drive gauge, though. Spins it for the back throw. It burn up. So Latino Liza catches the backdash with the OD fireball. Beautifully done from Kawano. Beautiful read. Saving up set point. Round up. Shimmy.
Already off to a fantastic start. Catching the delay. That was actually catching medium punch. Kawano full face that Ryukichi was going to delay a little bit too much. Right into the level 2. Preserving that 1 bar for himself on defense just in case. I'm liking the dump out of damage too. These OD flash knuckles have been so pivotal. Bang! A perfect Kawano. The damage output, the timing against Ryukichi has been all on point.
I'm starting to see the vision. I get it, Kawano. Lay him on the mat with the throw. Driver's back heavy kick. Another throw. Nice and close right after. Yeah, grounded damage looks like it's pretty damn good for him. Access with the crouching medium punch also as well. That being +1. Allows you to harass continuously. Does it again this time. Gets a counter hit.
Had to bust out. Kawano's not going to be letting go of this corner too easily. Maybe it's the lethal shot. Is the OD Sandblast the answer in regards to like the way some of these my players want to play, right? I feel like it's hard to get like a fan off. It's hard to even try to like move forward with how fast that fireball is. Perhaps. Jesus.
It might be. Oh. Gonna go for the charge of fan right there after the stand fierce. Now the OD. Kawano just back walking. He's fine to hold parry, get some of these sequences. I keep the drive gauge up. I think keeping the drive gauge up also is a prominent thing in this matchup so far. He burns out Ryukichi with the fireball. Don't let him hit you. Oh, the forward fierce.
Word? You whiff punish with that? What a dog. 16 whole frames, huh?
Mm-hmm. It's locked in.
Yeah, this is rough too for Ryukichi, but also manages to get that drive gauge built back, nice and healthy, all up in the green. OD fans to start off the, okay, to start off the pressure.
One more touch. The walk-up jab, the confidence. He's like, listen, I'll take a trade. Where it's gonna be a kill. Kawano with the Luke. All right, man. I was doubting a little bit. I was like, huh, you have the Akuma, why go to something quote-unquote low tier out here, or lower tier. But as we saw, Road Warrior, as we've seen with the work right here, it's about what you can do with the character and the toolkits. Crouching medium punch, as you mentioned, OD lethal shot to catch a lot of the backdashes, fast fireballs to stop the fans from happening so you don't have to really worry about the normal projectiles, just OD. And honestly, he kept up the bar, and I feel like that's also a prominent point of him just being like, listen, I always have something in my pocket so I can spin that OD fireball, I can drive rush jab, I can initiate to really find that damage that I need.
I was rather impressed too with like the pacing that Kawano kept against Ryukichi. You didn't really find Kawano in the corner too much outside of game 1 afterwards, right? As soon as he had his offense, as soon as he had his damage and his knockdown, he was just biting down, right? He was just continuously applying pressure, but also not in a sense that he's swinging all the time, right? The spacing that he's chosen against Ryukichi has been very specific, right? Still within range of catching with the fireball, still within range of threatening with a stand jab that is significantly further than a lot of other characters. So that, I think, is what set his Luke towards success in comparison to Akuma. I think the space that he occupies and the ranges that he gets to play at with that stand jab have been very pivotal.
I really like that play, like that sort of different sort of style with the Luke, and now that's first game for Good A Squad. I thought he's gonna go up against Moke with the Akuma, so now we're gonna see, it's gonna be Gotcha-kun coming up. What? Fujimura versus Pugera Sagat. So this was not a fake out.
Snap.
This is real deal. Ho ho. Back on the got.
Yeah, I feel like this matchup is still like just slightly unexplored, right? Like I don't think there's a lot of players that play at the level of Pugera right now, with the exception of maybe like Bonchan. And if anything, if you're watching closely to the North American scene, like the world's greatest lab, right? Automatic has been playing this matchup a bunch, but also complains about it too, to be fair. There are a lot of instances where I feel like Sagat can prosper. I like his fireball presence with high tiger shot against the fans, just going through that strategy. I like his presence mid-range. I think crouching medium punch target combo, easy to confirm to go into like any sort of cancel. I think crouching heavy punch is also excellent to deter somebody from getting closer or like inching the way forward with a solid check. But overall, I think his presence mid-game is not too bad. My biggest concern is what happens if Maya's up close and is starting to play the shimmy game, right? I don't like standing medium punch, trying to counter poke. I don't like crouching medium punch being too close and you losing your turn, or even like outside of the ranges, because Maya has excellent walk speed, right? She could force that whiff to happen, and with the amount of recovery that crouching medium punch does have, it could be a little bit problematic, right? So it's really up to Pugera to kind of go for normals that push Maya away if he's starting to play defense, rather than normals that can convert into any sort of cancel. So things like crouching medium kick is the best example.
Yeah. Just as like a poke. It's not really looking for like a damage or confirm. It's just like to kind of push them back enough to be in the effective range where he wants to be at. And Pugera, I feel like in terms like the best Sagat, for a while it was him. You know, he had the best handle because he didn't have preconceived notions of how to play Sagat previously. He was like, I play the character in 5 or 4. I was doing something different. And so he kind of plays him, as Brian F says, like a ball wrong. Drive rush overhead, drive rush crouching medium kick. He'll drive rush quite a bit more than the fireballs. He'll use fireballs when he thinks like buttons are a little bit too on the slower side. So maybe like crouch fierce and then throw out a fireball to kind of disrupt the rhythm because your other buttons aren't as fast. So like that's kind of like the difference maker, I think, for him to have that solidity with his Sagat. And step kick, I think, is not that bad in this matchup. Able to perfect pair, get a step kick right after in some sequences. It definitely helps out. But as you mentioned, Mike can definitely walk in outside these ranges, and her getting level 1 with the enhanced fan makes it very problematic, as we saw with KB last week, or last time that we met, at least, against Bonchan. But it's a different cat out here. Fujimura also, I mean, he's different too as well. He says, I could make Kachosin work last time, so I'll make it work this time. And Pugera, of course, going to go into some wild thing. He said, everyone, this is what you've all been waiting for. Bonchan, are you watching? Bonchan and I talked about Sagat last night, and my Sagat is complete. I'll make Fujimura look like he's 3 inches tall. He said, you were not even a short king, you were a short peasant. Bruh.
Damn. Pass the casket around. My man is trying to bury him, right? You don't need 6 feet if he's going to call him 3 inches.
Wow. He says, see a ditch.
He's not even gonna give him a full burial. That's insane. That's actually insane that he would do that. What a bully! Like what did this guy do to you, bro? Is it? I think you know what it is. It's microaggressions against Mai.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely microaggressions, no pun intended, but that's definitely what it feels like. That's definitely what it feels like. Listen, I'm off the Red Bull today. Don't tempt me, Cole. I'm off the Red Bull today. Don't tempt me.
Oh my lord. Microaggressions. I mean, you know what? What this character has done to people, I definitely get. I understand. And as you mentioned, this matchup, she can definitely harass continuously. So, you know, I like that. I like that activity from Pugera. Sometimes you got to be a bully to not get bullied. It just be like that in the streets. But I do like that he's talking to other Sagat players, man. I like that he is getting together, because I feel like for a lot of Sagat players, Bonchan, many others, they got to get their ball heads together and work together, because this is a character that's going to take a while to figure out. He's very technical. Well, you know. Oh wait, you do play Sagat. Damn, I forgot.
That's crazy. You gotta get your bald heads together? That's insane. I'm gonna call my agent on that one. Hold up. I'm kidding.
Keep it down over there. But I do feel like that character needs like a lot of work where people have to get together. I don't think you can make Sagat work on your own without like going to other people to find different ideas. Because like there's things like Pugera that he does that are so different, like the dirty Tiger Nexus on Wake Up to bait out the eyes and things like that. You know, like these meaty scenarios that it takes different people. It's not a character you can play by yourself, in my opinion. So like, you know, people like Zaffarino and stuff like that, I feel like he's starting to think about, hey man, I gotta talk to some of these cats over in Japan and stuff like that, because this is not an easy character. It's not just I throw out fireball traps and things like that. There's a lot more knockdowns, Oki scenarios, and meaty setups that he has that he didn't have at 5.
Yeah, it's a whole different type of Sagat, right? I feel like this is the first time we've seen him not be the fireball king that he was in previous iterations. even in 5, I felt like having all access to both the high and low Tiger shots with different speeds still didn't bring him up to the upper echelon, in my opinion. So seeing how Street Fighter 6 recreated him to be a mid-range monster is rather interesting, but I could also see where the gripes are with certain matchups, right? But maybe it's one of those things where it's like it's part of the process, right? It could be growing pains. Maybe there's something Pugera found out to put himself into this matchup against Fujimura specifically.
Let's see who's taking their grave today. OD fireball to start things off against a normal fireball. You're gonna have to expend that bar, I'm assuming, to fight the projectiles, as you mentioned, how good the ones are from Sagat. Opens them up low, and they throw right after.
I just looked at the player cam, Cola. My man looks like he might be 3 inches tall on the camera.
Yo,
this is Pugera, bro. Pugera said it first, man. He said it first, brother. I don't have to tell you.
That's why Fujimura's fighting like this, man. That's why he's getting aggressive, getting active. He's like, I can't lose to you. I'll shoot what short kicks can do. The perfect parry. It don't matter. Wait a minute, bar spit from Fujimura. Charge up fan trying to get some of that bar back.
Oh my God, he's playing like a grown man though. He's got the 15-degree gamer lean, also with his chest out.
No stepping stool? Wow.
No stepping stool. No apple box. Damn, that's hella damage. +4 if you dash up. Yes, it is.
There's that step kick. But the second part of the fan, you gotta worry about that. All for the back throw. All be up in the corner, buffering. Possibly a super or a Sonori, doesn't matter. My stand medium works out better. DP level 3. Every bit of bar.
You kind of have to do it, right? Like, although it's rather expensive, with that much life to you, you're looking at one more touch from Fujimura, which you can do, right? Like a single stroke of a whiff punish, full critical art, you know for sure you're dead. So excellent call, Pugera. Now opting to go for no medium kick to prevent Fujimura from moving on in, but that's like, it's avoiding the inevitable at this point.
Oh yeah. Crushing me to punch in the fireball, trying to kill the drive gauge. Like that. The low shot does quite a bit of good job if they do block it out. Kill the drive gauge. However, in burnout, but definitely not out of options. Has one more enhancement behind him. Dash up, only DP to meet him at the door.
No whip punish against the stand medium punch. Rather tricky to do so. Low step kick to charge forward against Fujimura. Fujimura swinging when it's his turn. However, doesn't really lead to anything just yet. But the mission, obviously, to get back in the green to initiate that onslaught. You know what's crazy about that exact sequence while he's killing Pugera? So I think there was a potential spot for Pugera to try to parry the fan, but I think Fujimura's timing on the drive rush interrupted Pugera, which is why he got hit by that fan. Like, as soon as the fan hit during the drive rush, Pugera shook his head. He's like, damn, it messed up my timing.
Switch it with what we saw previously in that round, the past couple of rounds at least. First game to Fujimura. You shouldn't have been talking bad business to my cat. He didn't like all that. Crouching to kick drive rush towards the corner. Round start. Get the media off, the knockdown. Deep in the jump here. Safe jump setup there. Oh my lord. Kagero no Mai.
Yeah, this is a little bit difficult, right? Like, even the high Tiger shots are not going to prevent Fujimura from, like, overstepping. Okay, never mind. No punish still.
It could have been so good, but it's so bad right now. ODDP again. The bust out. Fujimura setting up for Short King's set point.
That was rather smart. Crouching medium punch into heavy is not going to be a true string, right? There is a significant gap. Fujimura spotted it out. Looking rather deadly now into match point.
Damn, that works. Doesn't matter the bust out once again. Again! So many ODDPs have been thrown. Perfect parry. The step kick. Knew it was coming through. Kagero no Mai. The win condition is on. Even more so with this character. Thanks for throwing the dash up though. I'm worried about a crouch fierce, a crouching medium kick. A low. Uh-oh. Worried about you now, Fujimura. That bad drop.
Ooh. Decent amount of damage. Still gonna put Fujimura on life support. Pugera, how do you manage to close this round out? Do you go aggressive? Drive rush forward? No, it's low step kick. Fujimura sensed it.
Roll dive kick? But the ODDP stops what could have been absolutely dangerous. Staves on set point, but I can't believe that man did the rawest of dive kicks right there.
Get the throw now. We talked about those microaggressions. Damn, man! How many times is he gonna get away with his ODDP? Pugera's been on fire with these calls.
Same with that. The DI. Oh, he gets a charge up DP as well. Drive rush with the stand medium. Hella bust in the burnout. Pushing towards the corner. Reversal jabs. You're going to block that out. It was a bait the entire time. He's like, you do the knees again. I'm gonna hit you with the super, and we're gonna be back in the green after this, or damn near about at least. Oh yeah. The grass is always greener when you're playing Mai. Whip punish, and that's gonna be it. Already against these buttons, as you mentioned, you cannot outpoke this character at some of these ranges, and Fujimura knew what to do. 2-0.
Damn, the destruction. If it's not one Mai, it's definitely another. No more micro jokes for sure against Fujimura. My man is laughing all the way to the bank with that Mai. He has been improving week after week. Like, looking at his current record, he hasn't been like the strongest player that we are recognizing him for. Like, every single Street Fighter League, he's been like one of the top point earners. He had a little bit of a shaky season, I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong in like looking at my current notes, but I feel like maybe I am wrong. Damn, how many games did he win? Hold on. I think overall, okay, so he's only lost 2, I think? 2 of them so far?
2 so far?
Yeah, because he lost to Dogura's Elena, right? Last week.
Oh yeah. He got cleaned up for that
I feel like that's different. I think that's more of a matchup check, if anything, right?
Dogura did have some good points in terms of defense, but I do think that Fujimura is playing better today than what we saw. More confident. He definitely was on the riskier side of mine. There are definitely a lot of burnout moments and a lot of bust outs that weren't caught. So some of that also is just like the tendencies not being just discovered and sooner rather than later for Pugera. Comes down to this though. Last match, Sahara gotta be the one to go up. That guy, he's 2 on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Top 8 in a World Warrior. He didn't even have to play in. He has already solidified for Capcom Cup. This man just likes fighting in the street. If you watch his stream, even if he's getting drive rushed or DI'd or whatever, he's giggling and having a fun time. This man is about his business when it comes to Street Fighter. So I do like seeing him come up against like some OK. He was going to be either him or Kawano, so it definitely makes sense to see him in second position. But as you mentioned, if things go bad from OK's Chun-Li, he can switch over to Mai if need be. But I do like seeing him start off with his main gal.
Sahara is definitely of that school of Street Fighter players that consistently just want to play all the time at high level, right? I think I got a glimpse of that with the way he hangs out with Mago, the way he hangs out with Tokido. Why are you standing up, brother? The camera's not meant for that angle.
Bro, he's talking to him. Dang. Yo, I think he can hear you anyway, but he's like, you, I'm gonna body you.
I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. He's about to give the Booker T promo. He's like, wait, before I mess up here.
Actually, looking at Moke's recent runs, he gotta focus up, brother. So he's played 3 times, and it looks like he has lost all 3 times. He lost against Bonchan, KB, and Machobo. So Moke said, I was expecting him, so I'm ready for his moves. He's 20 years old right now, right? He's always nosy, saying things. Dang, Moke's gonna come out as character. Wow.
He's always noisy and saying things. That's weird coming from someone like Moke. My man Moke is always yelling at somebody.
Yeah, isn't he always he was troll? Like, come on now, Moke. Relax.
Damn, actually. I'm getting some intel right now about like the previous matchup at hand. About hold on, I'm getting it right now. I was looking at it right now. I was looking at a crouching medium kick for some reason. So there's been like a decent amount of information being thrown around. This is coming in from Drew Face also. He said Japan thinks Luke may be a counterpick to Mai because Knee blows up her ranges. I think I think that could be kind of true also, because it is kind of like low crushing too. So like low medium kicks can kind of get blown up. I can kind of agree with that. Maybe like fierce as well, but I feel like I can't tell whose fierce range is further between him and Akuma.
Okay.
But I don't.
So
maybe,
is this one of those?
I guess maybe.
Is this like why people think like in Japan and other places like Blanca's the one because knee bomb blows up crouching medium kick as well? Like it's like a similar. Oh, this blows up this like party starter, so that's harder for her to get things going.
Probably, and also like looking at crouch medium punch's range, it's much better for stealing, in my opinion. Now that I really think about it, although it's kind of similar on paper between him and Akuma being like same startup, +1 on block. If you think about like the ranges between the two, I think crouching medium punch might be a little bit further from Luke's.
Also, just being +1 already is really good. You know, that already is like a better thing than Akuma's, right? Because Akuma's 0, if I'm not mistaken. Am I bugging? For crouching medium punch? For Akuma?
Oh, in terms of block, yeah. But I'm thinking it more from like a counter poking perspective, more so than initiating with it. Yeah, in terms of like, if you compare like band for band crouch medium punches in the same scenario, I think Luke might have the upper hand because one, it is plus, so you get to like maybe inch forward and possibly throw something out and also check like a walk back. But yeah, the range on it makes it much tougher for Mai to possibly deal with. Possibly. Because like the fact that they have to block it, like if they lose their turn, Luke actually outreaches Akuma, then they have to kind of like fear a little bit of like what's coming through. They can't like throw out a normal for free, right? They're gonna be in the negative. So maybe I could see that being a pretty significant change in the flow of battle.
You know what? Who can know with like this meta changing so much? And I personally think the meta is changing so much. Lily being able to win a World Warrior kind of wild. Some of that is just he be playing out of his mind, but some of it's also his understanding when to go for certain mixes and things like that, when to go for Oki and stuff. So like the development of the characters, they're only like the lower rung. Like there's still a lot of work to be done. And it's like a game that even last season we were still developing going into like the finals. Who thought JP would win $1 million even though he did get some decent buffs? Like you don't know what's gonna happen with this game. There's still a lot more to uncover. Same when it comes to Chun-Li. You can also cite this character who has untapped potential. And I'm glad that Moke is still developing her because she's still very strong. We saw the buffs that have happened with her here and there. We still know that her footsies are insane. Moke, also an insane player. Sahara, though, he was kind of talking some words back. He said, I guess Moke's a little bit excited, but look at me. I'm relaxing, ready. I'll show him who is the noisy one.
I think it's a general consensus that Moke is definitely the noisy one.
Yeah, I don't know why he said that.
In comparison to the cast, man. Boy. What an excellent job in projecting the grab. Moke. Let's see what you can do with this corner control, right? Sahara doesn't find himself in these scenarios for too long, but even so, even if he does, he manages to fight back pretty damn well, right? Holding his ground with a significant life lead, setting his own pace because of the normals that he gets to let rip while Moke is within range.
Actually backed him off quite a bit. Stand fierce, no cancel in the Serenity just yet. The perfect parry. Drive rushing on him with the jabs. Too far off the throw, though. Takes a trade. Forward heavy kick, trying to catch him teching. The trade right after. Moke shakes the hand of doom. Soaring Eagle into the super. Level 2 coming through. Enough. One more touch. Give it the turn. -2. It's enough off the legs to finish things off. It's a chip.
Oh. Moving on in. Moke trying to maintain his control. Not for too long, though. The back throw, defensive back throw coming in from Moke. Had to do it, right? Delaying his throw just a little bit, catching Sahara off guard, hence why the counter hit occurred.
Moke trying to find the effective ranges to whip punish. We already saw Sweep trying to be utilized against crouching heavy kick, crouching medium kick as well. Here's Sahara. Grand kill, medium target combo. Back throw, switch it up. Yeah, get the chance. You don't want to be up in the corner against Ed. Easy anti-air.
Oh. A lot tougher right now for Sahara. Trying to chase down. I spoke too soon, brother. Level 2. Let me get that sleep number. Okay, actually dropped it. Still damage on the table, still getting burnout. It's the little things. Aye! And the shimmy to finish it.
Speaking of little things, nice little micro walk shimmy. After that quick nap, evens things out. Almost another level 2, so he can definitely do some damage right after. Gets it built up. Toss him. The fireball to lock him down. Drive rush crouch fierce this time. Reversal buttons from Sahara. Avoids the stomp, gets a fat punish. This man is so ready. Forward fierce Cobra strike. Oh, a perfect parry, able to recover after the fierce. Now leaving the corner. Uh-oh, maybe now you are.
Oh, yeah. Nice and easy with the whiff punish. Against that throw, and another punish counter coming in. Moke holding down back for a bit. Waiting for the explosion of Sahara, right? We're gonna see whether or not he gets picked apart from these certain ranges. Really trying to test. Not today. Nice and easy for the conversion. Moke playing it cool too. In areas where Sahara wants to try to flick away, he wants to try to catch you moving forward. Not gonna be this case. Moke sitting his ground rather than standing. Not susceptible to that low pickoff.
One thing I do like him is one thing I do like from Sahara that he does in the corner, like on the defensive side of things, is crouching light kick, and I converts off of that. Like he's looking to poke out with that button, get a counter hit or like punish counter with punish with that button to lead him out. Moke knows that. We've seen him avoid that crouching light kick continuously and avoid any sort of scenario where that will lead to him leaving the corner on that area. So like he understands how Sahara wants to play. He understands what his tactics are. And I like the fact that he's also baiting out the tap parry attempts, making it ambiguous what he's going to do in terms of continuing pressure. The fireballs also lock it down, keep a little bit ambiguous off the drive rush. So Moke, he studied what Sahara wants to do. And I feel like if you're in Japan, you definitely study Sahara, especially after he won and qualified. Maybe even before that, because he's such an uprising star. But the play right now has been excellent from Moke. Let's see if we can keep it up. They're taking a little bit of a break right here, or a timeout, excuse me, to discuss how to fight Moke.
There were a couple of instances where Sahara had caught the walk back against Moke against like very similar looking pressure strings. But Moke has done a great job of adapting towards that. He's like, you know what, I'm going to just back away and just chill, right? I'm not even going to try to even like close the gap, or I'm not going to be in a situation where if it's no longer my turn, I'm within range to get smoked if I decide to micro walk back or anything. So I think Moke's decisions towards like what he does off of a knockdown once his turn is over have been much sharper round to round.
Yeah, it's allowed to have that solidity to not get blown up, you know, not get backed up in the corner, or giving them more space, or even giving more damage. Because honestly, as mid-screen damage has gotten buffed, that's gotten a lot more emboldened, so you want to avoid that as much as possible. Only the first game, though, we'll see what the adaptations are. Sahara sometimes can be a little bit of a slow start. We saw, you know, last week when he fought, maybe it was Kobeon. Kobeon won the first game, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe I'm wrong. Let me check here. Let me just make sure before I put my foot in my mouth with that one. Yeah, it was Kobeon, but actually even before that he had lost to KB. But either way, even before that, he was a slow start against Kobeon. He lost the first game, then took the last 2 games. But those were first of 2 matches, not an anchor match, so there's more to grind out here. But I think sometimes he'll do things for data, you know, acclimate a little bit, say, oh, you're this type of player, I'll play around this way, and I'll do my defensive buttons this way, or what have you. And the spacing will change up for him. Fireball usage, OD usage as well. You know, he's definitely one to quickly have those adaptations. But Moke is just such an aggressive Chun-Li player. He's very active. He's hard to read. He's one to spin drive gauge to be close to burnout, or even in burnout. He's one of the more comfortable ones. Remember talking to him at EWC, he was like, I don't mind being in burnout. Noah showed us what can happen in general, and he has strategies for every sort of scenario. So even if he's close to burnout or in burnout, he knows how to be effective and not get back thrown or what have you, and stay solid.
So now the question remains, like, what is Moke gonna what is Sahara gonna do to kind of change up the atmosphere against like Moke's strategies? Like, how are you gonna be setting the pace for yourself, right? Are you gonna play a lot more patient? Are you gonna be like more slower pace? What do you think?
I feel like he's gonna play a little bit more slower pace. I feel like he's gonna back off to, like, you know how we saw Fudo having to adjust his strategy when he was fighting previously, you know, kind of backing off a little bit, playing a little more the flicker, the fireball game. I think that may come into effect and work around the burnout. Even though Moke is fine in burnout, I want to see like what happens when you have flicker, all that pressure up in the corner, the DIs and things like that. Oh, but what does it matter when foot on the gas here for Moke?
Oh, what a backdash too to call out the throw. Yeah, option select parry into the forward drive rush cancel. Or just drive rush in general. Why am I saying cancel? It's technically canceling the parry, but you know what I'm saying, chat.
Makes sense. Come here. Nice little jump back. Right over the DI. Again, we mentioned that, but it's avoided. Okay. Just have the strats and the abilities to be like, yo, I'm in burnout. I'm going to back off where I need to. Hit confirm at the proper distance. Level 1. Send him towards the corner. You have a huge lead. You can play at your pace now.
I like that, disrupting the timing of the perfect parry, allowing Moke a way in, by the way, after the Kikoken. Oh, no! Just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Sahara being able to get that conversion for the first round.
Fireball still encroaching that forward medium punch space. Works out. Spinning bird kick for the Oki. I had the jab, but no crouching medium kick. We'll get the air throw, though. It's all good.
Oh, no! What is that?
Oh.
That is rather tough. Sahara's gonna have to let go of this round, right? Oh.
Yeah, the way you're spinning bar. Reversal jabs. You said you're not going band for band right now. You're not spinning that bar at the bottom. You're too far in the low, the health threshold, I should say. But 3 bars right now, last round. Looking pretty good here for Sahara.
Ah, the counter hit. See, Sahara's getting a little bit desperate upon wake up, right? We're starting to see a lot of these normals come through wake up after wake up, or at least in that instance.
No, it's been happening quite a bit. You're right. Still able to get the anti-air. Back throw. He's got level 3. He's got level 2 as well. Let him already utilize. Will Moke even let him do that, though? Okay, with the overhead. It's blocked out at the right time.
Yeah, and Moke's not giving any sort of quarter, right? Like, even if he does micro walk backs, he's making sure that Sahara doesn't clip him on the way out. A big change up in comparison to game 1, and already down to 50 seconds. A lot of time has passed. Sahara trying to keep it at this snail's pace, right? Looking really reminiscent of the way that Goichi played against Fudo just the other week, or just the other day.
Yeah. So the way Moke's playing right now. Patient, inching forward, gets a driver's throw. Slight lead for him. Back throw, switch it up. The spark.
Nice call! It should
Level
be
3, yes,
just
sir.
enough. It should be just enough. All things considered, the scaling, the way the placement of the life, as soon as it was activated, there's no shot. Sahara is going to be missing out on that damage. Second game off of the patience play, as we had predicted.
On top of all this, too, as well, Sahara's landing a lot more perfect parries. I feel like the perfect parries in the first game were not working out. He was getting thrown. He was burning out a little bit more because of that. But that patience and now picking apart when Moke wants to play a button, especially when he wants to play it secondly, like really fast, like Sahara's ready. Keep it up, though. Oh, what a whip push, Sahara knockdown. But on wake up, it's a back throw.
A lot more active with some of these sweep attempts is Moke. They're losing susceptible to so much more. Sahara now in control. Backing away, kill rush backwards, or so you thought. The false sense of security. You thought you could move forward. Now you're triggering my senses. You're just within range for this hit. Bang, bang.
Really like Ed players using that kill rush back to loading that false sense of security. Still a fantastic thing to do. You have that locked up in the corner. Now Sahara is the one up in the corner. Crouching light kick doesn't get the full combo though. A target combo from the side of Sahara could have been a lot more. We'll get it with a stand medium kick. Knock him down level 1 to knock away the rest of the drive gauge. It's gone. Burnout play gonna be tested. He does have level 2. Cut through if he needs to. We're finally confirmed to keep the bar up when he gets about like half to 3/4.
Excellent defense from Moke. Back in the green. Now gets to dictate the pace with those exact spacing traps from the fireballs. Reversal uppercut coming in from Sahara. Moke not ready for it, committing to a larger normal perhaps.
It's not the throws you're worried about. It's all these other buttons she has. The fireball, clips the stand medium kick. OD, Once again, patience from Moke, the reversal jab, but no crouching medium kick. Driver's throw, though, will finish things off. Okay, game to game, round to round. I like this.
I'm loving the pace being set by Moke. Now going to start up on offense. Counter hit again, Sahara. Trying to wake up with normals. Counter hit again! Moke's got to be aware of this, right? He's got to come for bigger openings against Sahara. If he gets that opportunity again, though, this is huge. The big risk. Sahara having to go for a little bit of a shorter dream, right? A little bit of a nap. Although you're mid-screen, still a good amount of damage. Bring him right back in. Moke opting to go for the side switch to bring himself to mid-screen. A lot more room to play with, and a lot more room to be intimidating with the fireball. Sahara knows it. That's why he's inching forward little by little, right?
Slowly but surely. Gets the crouching medium punch off the drive rush. Should be able to kill with level 1 as the extender to get it done. Having these extensions does so much for the damage. You see the super to end things off. Patient play on both sides with the eventual drive rush, the eventual initiation, but those are earned. Those are not just given. It's not just, oh, I'm going to do it randomly in the neutral. Those are earned, patient moments. I love the play from both sides, with Sahara being able to acclimate. But as you mentioned, though, I want to see what Moke does when he gets those knockdowns. Even bigger buttons, bigger play, maybe more drive gauge extended, because he's starting to see a lot of counter hits from Sahara. Instead of like parry, it's, I'm assuming, a button, maybe a light or something like that that's coming through from Sahara.
Quite potentially, right? Like maybe even like a wake-up throw, perhaps, right? Attempting a side switch while being in the corner. You're starting to see that impatience coming in from Sahara, at least on defense for the time being. Moke definitely threw a Hail Mary, but I think it's rather okay to do so with the amount of life that he had. But there are certain moments where I feel like, again, Moke, as you had mentioned, maybe he should dump out the damage quicker. Maybe it's okay for him to put himself into burnout if he scores these knockdowns and allows himself to recover, right? Taking the Noah route, if anything. With the walk speed that Chun-Li does have, and also maintaining your position in the corner, more often than not, you're at a higher percentage to recover your drive gauge before anything really bad, anything really critical against your positioning happens.
That was the exact thing that he cited at EWC. Like, I have the normals, I have the walk speed, I can get outside that distance, I get my bar back by getting aggressive if I need to. And those things adding up to have a strategy where you can double the damage, get a big lead, get your bar back. It's almost like you're getting it back even faster. That's, again, why Noah does what he does. You get your bar back a little bit faster in a way if you're spinning and you're getting active, it gets the drive gauge up more. Those things might help him solidify a bigger win, you know, even more against Sahara. As you mentioned, killing the counter hits might be good as well. This could be big, you know, Good 8 Squad going down like this, leaving with only 10 points to their name, as one of the most dominant teams we've seen in the league. We've seen them win Street Fighter League Japan. We've seen them take Street Fighter League World Championship. For them to not be in a top position, or at least in general, have blood drawn this much in this season is a huge statement. A lot rides on Moke right now. He knows it, but the way he's playing, though, it can only get better for him.
Yeah, not too far behind, right? Although they are in third place, or at least tied for third, and put in the lower half due to the match differentials thus far. Still being at 90 points, I think now at 100 in comparison to Good 8 Squad's 120. This W is a lot. So you were definitely 100% right when you say there's a lot riding on Moke's shoulders. And he doesn't have necessarily the wrong plays. I think Sahara is just playing better at the time being. So hopefully this timeout is going to be like enough of a wake-up call, or enough of like an efficient talk with his teammates to find the adjustments.
We'll see. Sahara up 2. As mentioned, Moke not too far behind, and his strategy might have to spend a little bit more of the bar, or to use some of that OD fireball, hoping to clip a limb, but Sahara was blocking out and tapping parry when need be. The walk-up throw, though, using that walk speed again, encroaching that domain. Oh! Slaps that forward medium punch away.
A bit of a trade-off. Sahara trying to maintain control, rather be aggressive at the same time with that drive rush from out of nowhere, really. Kind of scary to do. Moke not really ready for any of these approaches thus far. It's been a drive rush as the answer for Sahara.
Yeah, not very typical of him. Let's work out for him to get the lead, though. Drive rush jab, gets a stand pierce right after. That was sick. Catching some of these button-sync timings and putting himself on set point. A way different look than what we expected. And Moke as well.
Trade-off, way better for Moke. Does get the extension. And the knockdown fully extending the OD legs. And now, pound for pound blows. Here comes Ed. Let me know your sleep number off of a double bounce. Counting sheep. Here we go.
First throw, we take that one though. The fireball to interrupt the drive rush. Gotta put those speed bumps out every so often, but the drive rush jab is the entry point. At the level 1, not gonna be enough. Death Thor though. Struggle for another throw. And the flicker follow-up wasn't blocking, you drop it. Sahara. Active, aggressive, takes it over Moke. And Good 8 Squad continues being the greatest squad out here, at least in this division, with 30 points to their name. Well, wow, Sahara. What a switch up of play completely. And you were in the lead, you were winning.
I think that's like the sign of an amazing player right there. Like understanding when to pump the brakes and take the advice of like teammates and understand like where he needs to kind of change up and then immediately transitioning back into something that the player is not ready for. That's not even just like in-game conditioning, right? That is like full set conditioning. That is the complete package. You're gonna have a healthy head of hair, believe me, I know. After the type of conditioning Sahara's been implementing against Moke. Really well established, man. What's funny?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know why I smashed Sahara with a pro. I have no idea. Either way, it's early. Relax, chat.
With a fro?
Regardless, this man is crisp, just like my fro. He is pristine when it comes to playing this character. He's absolutely clean. And again, drive rush jab, you know, some people might say, oh, well, he's just drive rushing up. He's just using the usual stuff for Street Fighter. But again, this is all earned. If you were doing this right off the rip, Moke would be ready for it. But the fact that you played so patient, that you earned the ability to be able to do this continuously, allow for moments like this to happen. He didn't know what was going to come after that Sam medium kick. Could have been anything, could have been no buttons at all. It's the variance, the economy of buttons and specials and things spent that allowed Sahara to get that W. 30-10. Good 8 Squad taking over Victrix 5 Gaming. They played well, but man, it's just Sahara playing nasty. Bulgaria though, we'll see how that Sagat does a little bit later on, but I think Fujimura just kind of was on one because Mans was talking mess. Next time, don't talk mess. You might have won that one. Sorry, Bulgaria. You might have won that one if you didn't come at his height like that.
Possibly. Right? Don't come after my short kings. I'm thinking about it now. Like, how else do you prepare for Good 8 Squad going into the second half, right? I think the way you look at it, like Moke, obviously the Chun-Li being on the away side, like you don't really get a chance to choose your destiny, essentially, right? Now that it's going to be the reverse going into the second half where Victrix 5 Gaming is going to be in the home side, is it going to be Moke again against Sahara? Is Sahara even going to play? I'm pretty sure he's going to be playing, so I don't think it's a question. But like, how do you size up the team going forward now that you have this data, right?
Man, I don't know. Like, Fujimura did fantastic. Ryukichi and Sako. The thing is, I feel like if Victrix 5 Gaming can get Sako up with the Elena, that's like a big speed bump because, again, who plays that character at that level besides Dogra? Yeah, you get practice with Dogra, but that's a different sort of player, you know? So at least having that variance, that factor of having an Elena on your team could definitely work out. I want to see Sako being utilized. I feel like he's in the extra position more often than not. I feel like we're not getting to see him as much, and when we do see him, he doesn't really get the victory that much, but I want to see him a little bit more often. I want to see that Elena become that X factor for the team. People know how to play against Mai. The Kawano obviously had the Luke pick. And thanks to Drew Face for a little bit more of that data from Japan and why they think that the matchup is not too bad for Luke and their strategy. But against Elena, it's going to be a lot more difficult. You run into a million Mai's around the world. You see Mai here, there, everywhere. But when you run into Elena, it's a very rare special treat. It's like once in a blue moon, you might fight a high-level one as well. So I want to see Sako really, really buff out that character.
As would I, honestly. Maybe talking it out with Dogra might be the play, and you had mentioned him earlier. I would love to see him kind of like sharpen that spear and play Elena even more so going forward. I want to say maybe as like in their positioning in the home team, I want to see him further utilized. That is for sure. But it's hard to contest. Like with the amount of time that Moke has now going forward, we could just see a full Mai composition, right? Like. They could be that could be the team that ascends them into the top ranks. It could be My Hero Academia at that point, right? It's just full Mai's, right? Ryukichi, Moke, Fujimura. I think it's a good call. So it is a little bit of a rough question to ask. It's like, do you have Sakonoko prepare that Elena even further, or do you further sharpen Moke's mind?
Oh.
That's hard, right?
3 Mize is kind of deadly. No matter who it is, how you spin it, especially at this high level. Damn, yeah, it might. That might be a better strategy. I don't know. But then you can't lose if you're Victrix Fumble Gaming. You have no reason to lose having that many Mize on your team. But back to the winning team. Gotchkin says the team was really strong. It's been 2 years since I was in reserve for Street Fighter League. I forgot he usually comes up in like first or twos or even anchor positions. Gotchkin usually the one to play out here. He was saying to Sahara, "You'll feel fantastic if you can win at anchor," and he made it work. Kumamoto said, "I was watching the pre-show where Naru was predicting Luke coming from me, and I was like, don't say it here." He didn't want the surprise to be spoiled. You know how many times we talk to players and we ask them who they're going to play, they're like, "Okay, man, please, but don't say nothing to nobody." Like Kaku at CPT was like, "I'm not playing anything but JP out here. Don't tell nobody." I'm like, "You're not playing Akuma Baisi?" He's like, "No, but don't say nothing." We got you, bro. We got you. But that is a common thing.
It's funny. It's so funny because like I make sure that the audio doesn't go out to the players, and even so, I wait for them to put their headsets on. I would look back. This has happened like with myself and Ringe a bunch of times over. I would look back to see if the players are paying attention or not, and they have the headset. I'm like, all right, yo, here's the lowdown, right? And then I'll talk about the lore. But
yeah,
it's really funny to see like the dynamic between like all of the players in Japan. They're very much so open about their strategies too, and like even if you ask them, even as a foreigner. They're very open to discussing what had happened in like certain matchups. They're very open to ask towards questions about their recent performances as well, and they'll try their best to answer. So it's so wild to see it like at all skill levels in Japan. They're very open to talking about the game because they find it intriguing, right? They all find it really fun if they have the time, obviously.
Yeah.
Like I've had 1.5 million conversations with this guy right here, with Gotcha-kun, in regards to like which matchups I feel like are the strongest for Rashid. And I asked him like if he were to pick a side character, who would you actually pick? And he just automatically veers towards whatever's top tier. He would literally say whoever's strongest at the moment.
Not a bad pick. That's never a bad option. I like that. That's a man of intelligence and choice. Sara said, it feels really nice to win the anchor, especially at an offline event. Really hyped to hear the crowd root for me. It was a good game. Gotchku said, next up is Crazy Raccoon, and we lost the away game last time, so we'll get our revenge next week. That is a good point. We get the runbacks? Ooh, I can't wait for that. The lick backs. Ooh, there's gonna be some nasty matches coming up, but of course we gotta finish off the first half, and they're gonna be getting ready for that as well. So look forward to that. Look forward to that, y'all.
Yeah, this is like the big turning point, right? Week 5, there's only 10 full weeks to play between Division S and Division F, so this is a pretty solid way to start it off for Good 8 Squad, sitting at 130 points, if I'm not mistaken. Let me take a look at the full schedule. I want to make sure that I look at how often Good 8 Squad has played on the home side. Let me see. So they've had 3 opportunities to play on the home side, which obviously nets them a good amount of points, being able to choose their counter picks at will. Going forward, their main home games, week 6 is going to be against Crazy Raccoon, rather important. And then following that, it's going to be against Nagoya NTPOJA. The away games that they play against are going to be so critical, right? They have to play against CAT Osaka on the away side. They have to play against Saishunkan Kumamoto on the away side, which are both pretty high up right now. And then they have to face off against Victrix Fabu Gaming for the run back in the final week, week 10.
You got time to grind out to get ready. They even mentioned it. They said there's going to be like even a 2-week break for Street Fighter League, but they're going to go to Evo France, so they're going to practice at Evo for Street Fighter League. And again, we talk about this a lot. A lot of these players will go out to offline tournaments and things like that, obviously to get stronger for their CPT qualification, but as well to get stronger for Street Fighter League. Like they bring that energy, that knowledge back to their team, or some of them aren't able to go. I think probably the entirety of the Good 8 Squad will be able to go if they need to go. But they bring all that back to Street Fighter League to become even stronger, to get even stronger, to build their strategies even more. So I always love seeing what happens like before and after, like an offline event, like a big offline event, especially like a CPT event. Love seeing what they bring back to their people. So that's going to be happening soon. Remember, people, Evo France will be this weekend. Tune into that. That's why we're taking a little bit of a break, but we still have more action right here, right now at Street Fighter League Japan. Our next set, man, I got so emboldened by that one. I was like, I forgot that we have having more action. NTPOJA versus Soul is coming up. And is this Aru pulling up with the VTubers? Does he get his own VTube rig or something like that? Can he get one of those?
So. Yeah, I think like by default, he looks cool enough to have like a VTuber inspired off of him. Same with Frida. I'm glad that Frida actually wasn't too sick to perform over at World Warrior. I know he had put out a tweet a little bit earlier. He's like, yeah, man, I'm feeling kind of down. And then the morning of World Warrior, he's like, false alarm, I'm totally fine. So yeah, that'd be it would be kind of cool to get these two in like VTuber form to collaborate with Vispo. Vispo has been doing a phenomenal job, man. I've been able to watch like their enthusiasm and like all of their energy going towards all of their broadcasts. I decided to put like the captions, the closed captions on it, but I know for sure there are some things like lost in translation, but there are a lot of funny things that they do kind of ask. Like, they'll get kind of silly for certain things, and then they also get rather serious in regards to the details. So they know what they're doing. I'm rather impressed.
Shouts out to Galeria. Finally saying that right. The official PC sponsor. You know, I know you utilized one while you were over there, and it seemed like it was a pretty dang good job. I like to see them supporting Street Fighter, and like to see all the support that's been coming through from all the sponsors to make this even more bold, make this even bigger. Year after year, I feel like Street Fighter League, and Street Fighter just in general over Japan, and even around the world, has gotten so big it becomes like a sporting event over there, and I hope to see that similar sort of aspect over in the States. I'm hoping maybe League is like the push to do so in the US and the EU, especially now that it's alive and now more people can tune in with these teams, as again, some of those are getting more revealed. I want to see where the birds are at with the EU if they do join. I want to see what's going to happen with Punk with the US. But back to what's going on over here, Suzuki is one of the official partners for Street Fighter League for the season of 2025. Appreciate them for coming through. And again, got to take a picture on the jury one. Hopefully I get a chance to do that at Capcom Cup when I go out there. I'm sure they're going to have it. They have it at every big event. I'm just going to assume they're going to have it there. So chat, remind me to do that. There it is, the purple one. I need that. I need to be on that one. Take my picture like everybody else. And y'all can do so too. If you see that other events, I don't know if it's going to be at Evo France. If it is, take a picture. Let me know how much fun you're having with that stuff. And shouts out to them once again for supporting Street Fighter League Japan.
I would imagine they could do that because they do have a rather like active circuit, like racing circuit over in the European regions. So I would imagine that's a great time for Suzuki to actually show off that bike. And honestly, it is an amazing machine, being able to see it in person. I was rather intimidated trying to take pictures on that bad boy. I'm like, are you sure I won't be able to break this thing? But either way, talking about the next matchup, Nagoya NTPOJA facing off against Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto. That matchup's coming right at you after this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Street Fighter League Japan.
さて、この後は試合準備のため、少し休憩に入らせていただきたいと思います。休憩の後、チームマッチ2、名古屋 NTP 王者対最春間する熊本の模様をお届けしてまいります。こちら再開は約8分後の20時22分頃を予定しております。それでは一旦失礼いたします。
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
創世のモンスターは災いをもたらすもの。古くからの慣例に従い、どちらか一頭を葬らねばなりません。
未熟者だ。王子としてもライダーとしてもあれを支えてやってくれ。
このルディ決めております。王子を一人前にすると。
アマラ様はレンジャーという組織を作り、モンスターを保護する活動をした方だと聞いた。俺もレンジャーのみんなもアマラ様を尊敬してる。
謎だらけの怪現象に挑むなんて、やっぱりレンジャーはかっこいいですね。
あれは脅威モンスターだ。
捕らえた。
しばらく世話になるわね、王子。こっちよ、行こう。
母様が何をしようとしたのか、それが知りたくて僕はレンジャーになった。
現在我々はかつてない危機に直面しています。この最悪の危機から脱するために、今こそ我々は手を取り合わなければなりません。国境にまで進軍しておきながら手を取り合おうとはどういう了解か。まあ待て、仮に手を取り合うとしてどうするのだ。北限の向こうにある聖域への帰還を果たすのです。
いいかい、君は王になるべきだ。国事に興味はないと言ってはいるが、君のような優しさを持つ人が王になれば世の中は平和になる。
リオレウス、ここで出てくるなんて。
中足借りたいから立ちジャケラッシュが狙いそうですね。
偉すぎる。偉い。
ですね。ブゲラ選手は
うわ、そうだよね。いや、分かっとるわ。
一回完全にこう、うわ
あー、うまい。
よく見てる。じゃあスパリを構えようとしたが通常のパリ。
よ、うまい。うまい。
切り返し。しかも
ネフュー。
だけれどもブゲラが切り返してくる。大谷がなかなかチャンスをつかめない。
うわ、嬉しい。マジ嬉しい。
相当まあ荒らされてる状況。そうですね。インパクト。
やる。
そうですね、今までそのラッシュジャックパンチで触れていっていたので、ジュリが引っかかった。早すぎましたね、大谷選手の反応が。
あいよ。
投げる。いかないね。
行こう。
当ててからの投げ。
どんどん行こう。いいよ。かなり。
で、ラインを押し上げていく。
あ、美味しい。
これも
おしい。
坂道中継使って。
そう。いいよ。
はい。それ許さないこと。投げれる。ただもう受けれないぞ。そうです、体力足んない。あれ3タッチで終わりませんでした。手口に行きましたね。確かに投げに対してリターンが取れるようだ。空間をひとくエクスプレスぐるっとこれ、そしてパーリーを投げる。冷静だ。一気に体力半分以下の量。小林のペースが止まらない。早い。
Kicking it off with match number 2 between Nagoya NTPOJA and Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto. This is a tiebreaker for positioning, both sitting at 90 points just before we switch up into the second half of the season. The Division's back at it again with St. Cola to bring all of the action as always. We hope you guys have been enjoying thus far, as match 1 was quite the banger, despite the potential full my picks. But I'll tell you what, man, we're still gonna get some of those characters. I mean, I feel like Division S is full of mines. That's just how it goes, right? But we got to talk about it, right? Nagoya NTPOJA, they're looking rather strong in comparison to their previous performance from last season. We'll see how it goes with like Seiya, Mochi, KB as well. And why am I like skipping out on the last name? I don't know why I'm forgetting this, but it's definitely Otani. So Otani, again, he's been a very, very strong Shoto player thus far, but he has not found his footing just yet. He's still sticking it out with the Ken, so it begs the question, will they be putting him in for the away spot in such a pivotal point of the season?
Hopefully, if they do, he'll be informed, because he has to go up against Saishunkan Kumamoto, who are only second to them by differential in third place position in totality. Saishunkan Kumamoto definitely has a lineup of killers, but Nagoya NTPOJA, let's get back at them. Get a deeper look at Daredevil bounty hunter, nothing guilty about his combos. It's Mochi, who's been a standout star for this season and for this team. Akuma, and that's going to be the talent from Toyama. It is Otani on the Ken, and maybe the Terry I saw him practicing with that character in the Street Fighter League ready. We'll have to see a little bit later on. Right now, we're going to be seeing Kung Fu Fanatic himself, Seiya, on the Chun-Li, and only the Chun-Li. There's no my guy here. He's all about the legs and thighs. And after that, last but not least, KB, the Hammer of Justice, one of the best of my players in the business, leading the squad. This guy has been ever excellent with that character and really showcases what you can do if you put your mind and grind to like the matchup knowledge and things like that. NTPOJA in second place position, definitely different than what we saw last season.
I was trying to copy the pose that KB was doing, but I didn't realize he was crouching down, holding his knee. I'm not going to show that skin for free, brother. I'll tell you what, man. But anyways, the home team, incoming, Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto. You're going to have to pay for that, PPV, but this is a team that I feel like has had a huge improvement season after season. And it's not even just with like the players themselves, but it's with the leadership coming in from Nemo, right? I think he's got a firm understanding of like how to play the matchups quite well. And I feel like the only player that's been consistent part of the team is Machaba. But we'll take a look even further. Another threat coming in. It's the Unstoppable. Not the Juggernaut. It is definitely Kobeon with the Zangief pick. Man, you got the full force of like the X-Force, really. You got the Iceman, Omega level mutant player. It is Kosa trying to put players in the freezer. Then of course you have Mr. Optimal. The only way the Yipes can do it, Machabo. And then of course, all led by the guidance of the Brutal Emperor. Violence only is his way of life. That is Nemo. I like this composition totally, man. I really have enjoyed the way they've been playing. We've seen some of the highlights they've had even during the break. I like the way this team meshes together. One of my biggest concerns, though, if I were to highlight any sort of weakness, is the double Ryu pick coming in from both Machabo and Kosa, right? I wonder if that's going to be sufficient enough coming in as the home squad, being able to pick all of these players at their will. I don't know if the double view is going to come into play. I would love to see Nemo kind of show up a little bit, at least in this positioning. They had a home position last time. They had Machabo, Kosa, and Kobeon finishing it out for their roster. In comparison to Nagoya NTP, they have Seiya with Chun-Li, Mochi with Akuma, and then the Hammer, KB, coming in with Mai and Otani on the bench. Is this the second time that Otani has been on the bench? No, actually, Otani played last week. My mistake. He played as the anchor last week.
But maybe that's why the reason he is on the bench this time. As you mentioned, like, hasn't really found his way with the Ken in full compared to other players that have been out here in League, just in general. So him on the bench, it kind of makes sense. KB maybe trying to end things if they need to happen that way, or at least even it out. It's going to be Kobeon going up against Seiya. Word. I thought he'd go up against Otani in the extra match because Gief does really well against Ken. I saw him practicing that matchup, but he's willingly going up against Chun-Li. What do you think about this?
I don't know how I feel about the matchup considering how the others can possibly play a bigger threat. Maybe there's something about the way that Seiya's playing that gives Kobeon a vote of confidence. Taking a look at his overall record, like Kobeon's been putting in that work, and I don't mean to say that as a filler. I honestly think that Kobeon has had a firm understanding of like how he's supposed to navigate each and every one of these matchups, with the exception of Ed. He fell a little bit short, but he's played all of his harder matchups to a T, right? One of the biggest highlights that we talk about is Kobeon versus Crazy Raccoon Squad. We had Kazunoko step up to the plate against him, and he took that down pretty well. And now that I say that out loud, I might kind of want to retract that. I don't think Cammy has like a better time against Zangief. I think that's been a common notion for a lot of like the commentary team, for a lot of the players as well. So maybe I will retract that statement. But other than that, I think Kobeon's understanding of certain matchups have been a lot stronger. Maybe there's something that we don't know. Like maybe there's something that Nemo kind of guided Kobeon with to be like, you know what, you should be the one taking out Chun-Li. I do like his pacing against the set, right? Armoring against some of the normals that Chun-Li wants to poke with, right? We kind of see a lot of a hit and run style with Chun-Li most of the time. Outside of that though, like Kobeon's different looks on offense could be the one to put Seiya into a very tough positioning on defense, right? Chun-Li doesn't necessarily have the best type of defense to run with, other than maybe like an OD up kicks perhaps, but even then that's like it's very tough to call defensively against Kobeon.
At least she does have air legs though that could also come into play against some like the throws that might happen. But I like the idea of like having stand fierce to delete the fireballs off the table, some of the normals like the handshakes and things like that. The problem is when she goes low though, hits that crouching medium kick, that quick button to low profile, maybe even slide if she wants to. If she's in like Serenity stance, she can deal with stand fierce because that's gonna blow that up continuously. She can eat through the armor with legs. You know, even say it's like this is a good matchup, but if I can play Chun-Li well, I can definitely win. I still feel like there's things that Kobeon can present as like a player, and maybe that's the reason why, like in terms of like footsies, I feel like he's like the most footsie based, grounded based like Gief player. Like he's not really big on like resets and heavy reads and things like that. He'll chip you away with normals and things like that, and then at the very end do drive rush conversions that are heavily scaled, but he knows it's going to kill. So maybe those things will equate to him clipping some of these buttons. But the problem is Chun-Li's buttons are so long. Her medium range, her long range is really good. Her fireballs disrupt a lot of stuff. So Kobeon got to show me something out here. But it's not been impossible for him. We've seen him win bad matchups, as you mentioned. Even the matchup that he lost to Sahara with, he had a really strong start. He was really good with that. So Kobeon says, I haven't lost a home side game this season, but I'm not that confident today. It's a rookie matchup, so I'd like to win here. Oh, word.
It's a rookie matchup, huh? I think that's something that's pretty important to note, right? Like how often does Seiya get to play against this type of Zangief, right? And Kobeon's been in like tougher situations, right? He's been runner-up over at Evo Japan, like or at least within, not runner-up, sorry, at least within the top 3, top 5. I can't remember exact placing, but Kobeon's been in like higher stakes situations way more than Seiya has. Apparently Seiya thinks this is a very rough matchup. I couldn't call it. I genuinely couldn't call it. But Kobeon, I think the experience really comes into play here, right? You talk about the mid-range that Chun-Li does like kind of take control over. I think the armor is really going to be what shines. What a counter poke, actually. That was actually kind of sick.
Trevor Sneed does enter in though. Kobeon. No, not proceed too far out for the SPD. It's a DI to start things off for the punish. Gonna get that Oki going and flowing. Meterless. Backing away for that crouching leg kick. That's been a big counter poke for this character. Catching people walking back. There's that stand fierce you mentioned. It's a trade now for Seiya. Once again, back to that button, but too many times too often. With any sort of button against Chun-Li at the proper ranges, she'll interrupt that.
Oh my God!
Crouching leg kick, pressing the issue to level 2.
My man was trying to run for his life, by the way. Oh, reset! He went for the drive impact. You could already see the stress settling in against Seiya, too.
You mentioned it, high stakes scenarios. Kobeon's been in there, already whip punishing the swift thrust now, ready against that button. He's just waiting for Seiya to do something right after. What's he gonna do on when he plays second? He's gonna backdash, play a button. Oh, he was close enough for the SPD right after. You too close to me. Kobion with the chase down. With DP for the bust out. Give him some distance. Rex gonna press the issue with the drive rush throw. Too far out though. The jump back. Kobion trying to go for another SPD, but DI instead.
A lot of control now for Seiya, right? Potentially. Does have the corner, plus really healthy on the gauge. Kobion does find a way out, at least at the cost of some life. But Kobion, knowing him, he might find a way to get into, okay, high damage territory. So Seiya had to pursue with normals, right? There was no way he could dictate the pace with fireballs. Level 2 stocked up with Kobion just made him that much more deadlier. But Seiya, not right now though. Yeah, he's definitely in the blender off of that SPD.
Versus doing dividends out here. Stand light kick buffer, the drive rush. Not gonna go for the OD SPD level 3 just yet. Oh, what a button. The crouching medium punch played right here from Seiya. Boom in the corner. The backdash. Was able to get a punish count on the throw though with the crouching medium punch. Not too bad though from Kobion. He's got the lead.
Wasn't confident about that crouch medium punch placement, by the way. Like nothing followed up behind it while fully healthy. He's gonna be eating a lot. There's gonna be like the damage equalizer essentially. Maybe still at a life. Yeah. I was gonna say like a life lead, slightly in Kobion's favor. Excellent block on the overhead, and an excellent tech as well. And now, how do you get out of here? Multiple throws incoming. You could bait. Oh, wait a minute! No shot!
For the fans, Kobion lands a beautiful backdash, crouching light kick, punish counter combo. It was fine the entire time. You're right. He probably could have killed off that crouching medium punch if he committed to the DRC right there into level 3 as an ender. That could have been it right there. But for him to stay so solid up in the corner when and a pixel of health after that level 3 that Seiya put him through. Kobion, clutch.
You can't tell what this man's gonna do on defense. Or offense for that matter. Drive rush on in there. Into the SPD, right? Already instilling fear, and also the walk back is being feared. Now going for a backdash, immediately caught. Can't escape the corner. Those frames, waiting for an escape, or so we thought. DDT, drive rush on in there. No, he's gonna walk it out. No, DJ the fireball is gonna be tickling the big man.
Soaring Eagle. Perfect parry, nice. It goes for the crouching light kick. If you try to walk back, either way, that crouching light kick is doing absolute 9 to 5 locked in work right now. Kobion on set point. He is playing active, aggressive against a character that can sometimes out buttons him, out obviously with the fireballs, disrupt the rhythm of what he wants to do. Level 2. Let's spin that right now.
Yeah, not a lot of damage if you hold it down. Somebody had mentioned that in the chat, but the follow-up at the Borscht Dynamite. Excellent continuation of that damage. Seiya immediately OD up kicks upon seeing Kobion's drivers forward. Jesus, he just ate the splash attack. That could have been an SPD, that could have been death. Kobion, he senses fear.
Hunting him down, stalking his prey. Whip punishes, whip thrust. Beautifully done, Kobion. Says the matchup is me. I win. 6-4.
Kicking the goofy out of him. Did you see that whip punish? He was ready, man. Kobion is looking mad sharp. Is that 2-0 already? That was a beatdown. Dear Lord Almighty.
He's got here. Like, that was very quick. Like, the men dismantled that matchup. And honestly, that was the most active I've seen Kobion play in general in a long time. I don't think I've ever seen him drive rush up this much, but that confidence, that dominance, it made sense. And then reads like this, where they try to go for like DI, that's all data for the grappler player. They're like, okay, you like to do this. Like, you're trying to find any way out of these scenarios. I can run with this. That clutch backdash, the crouch light kick. Man, this man Kobion is. Forget the matchup. He's clean. And this, picture perfect. No notes, Kobion, no notes.
Yeah, there's nothing that can stop someone like Kobion if he's that comfortable in the matchup. And like Seiya, he's starting to prove his point. He's like, you know what? I might be at the deficit here. I'm starting to believe. He's like, maybe people are onto something. He's like, maybe this is a bad matchup for Chun-Li. Like, again, I couldn't call it. I feel like Chun-Li does have a strong presence in neutral, but now that you see like the utility that Zangief does have against that matchup, I'm starting to understand.
Ooh, Macho going up against his former main, Akuma. And players from, this is a history matchup. A matchup from other games into this one. Champions of other games playing it out here at Street Fighter League. There's some big story behind this. But seeing them out here at League, doing some mat work, Mochi on his side of things, the clean mirror match that he had against Shuto was so impressive to see him find his ground at Street Fighter League. Because last year, it felt like he was still trying to figure out how to play the game in full. But this year, it feels like he's a proper Street Fighter player. Machibo, though, on the Ryu has been a great pick for him. You know, he's been pretty optimal when given the chance. Let me look at his record, though, so far. He's 2-2 right now in terms of wins and losses. So he's doing pretty well. Mochi, though, is... he is 1-2 right now. He had a great showing against Shuto, and then he lost the other matches that he had played against Tagaki and Ryukichi. So even though I feel like we haven't seen him have like a lot of points on the side of things or like significant wins, I can see the evolution of his play, and I think that really came through. We saw him, fight the Shuto matchup, the mirror match. I feel like that was like the moment I was like, this guy deserves to be here even more so, and it kind of proved to himself. Maybe he hasn't had the best success after that, but still, the fact of the matter is, I can see the strength. I can see that prowess.
I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. Like Mochi also had like a fantastic showing right out the gate. Unmute that. Dude, this guy Aru, man. Even when he's telling players to unmute, he does it in like a showmanship type voice. It's like unmute that. That's so funny. My man Mochi is not ready for the interview, brother. We could skip.
He's like, next. Take two. He's like, all right, let me get my notes up. What did I say before? All right.
Oh boy.
This guy,
you know, it is what it is sometimes. Mochi was just locked in. He was definitely locked in. I love that Aru just played it the way that he played it. I'm sure he's got a lot to say about it. I want to know what the translation is coming in from Aru, knowing that Mochi had his stuff muted. Can we get that?
Yo, that's godlike. Well played from Aru. Yeah, I want to hear like them talk about their history and their history in previous games and how it's come to this point for Street Fighter League trying to do damage out here for their teams. We'll get that interview at some point.
Okay, we do get the interview. All right. He's not stalling for too long. We'll take it. We'll take it. I wonder if we'll actually get a translation coming in from Aru. All right. So we do have a couple of lines coming in from Mochi, a little bit of a delayed response. Just off the top, he says, I remember this matchup, so I'm excited for this. I'm stronger than before. Has he played off against any other Ryu thus far?
Not yet. Mirror match, Mai and Blanca.
I see. Yeah, he had a very impactful one going into week 3 against Shuto Zakuma in the mirror match. Outside of that, he only had to face off against Takagi. He fell short in the anchor match. And then in week 2, he had to fight off against Ryukichi's Mai.
So maybe him saying he remembers this matchup might refer to like last year if they played, or even other games they played in the past. So either which way, it could be even both. Sick to see them out here for League. And, again, he has been stronger. He looks like he's a more informed Akuma player. His understanding what to do in like a Street Fighter setting is really good. His defensive choices too as well, really good. Like his timings on delayed buttons and things like that are really great. Obviously, it hasn't worked out well for him to win after that. Tagaki and Ryukichi kind of body him. But we'll see what happens. I can understand why he took a second to maybe have that thing muted and have to take a second to stall a little bit, because if Ryu hits you, it's going to hurt. As a Kuma, you can definitely go band for the damage, but it's going to hit even harder to the side of Ryu. So be careful, because Macho is going to stay ever optimal. It's in his name.
And he talked about it earlier, but Macho getting his interview in, he played with Mochi the first game of the last season, so he recognizes his strength, right? He knows he's gotten stronger. But I feel like the confidence is all Mochi right now. Something Macho hasn't had this season, right? Look at the lockdown. Look at the difference in approach. Mochi taking a lot of liberties with these throw loops. If you got him, you got to abuse him. Mochi definitely knows that. Hanging back. It's funny that they come from the same camp, the same type of player, right? Same type of background, and you see Mochi just evolving before our very eyes.
Yeah, it's great. Better start here. That jump fierce was perfect. Nice and close for the Oki right after. Like that air-to-air. Storied anti-error. It's Macho. Trying to walk him down the stand like kick on his side of things, landing the donkey kick. Boy.
What it was to take for life. Had to do it, I guess. From the side of Mochi, maybe. Sorry, from the side of Mochi, excuse me. So many Mochis, man.
Too many M's. I like the little space trap with the stand light kick. Macho, a little bit better job of squaring things off. Final game between the two, or final round, excuse me, between the two. All bar juiced up. Level 3 on both sides. A little more utility for the side of Akuma, depending on what he wants to spend for like level 2 up in the corner. Same job setup, some mix. Tatsu's gonna start things off. Perfect parry with the fireball, stand your ground.
Oh. Get a punish counter, and now Mochi dictating the pace yet again. A single blow from Mochi would be able to spell doom, impending doom for Macho. Trying to get in with the solar plexus. The DPs are there! So is the level 3 conversion. I like that. Mochi optimizing his chances, getting this big damage.
Not trying to overextend too much. All the bar to work with right now. Could OD fireball if he wants to. Could drive rush. The shimmy, the slight finesse and bless, the micro walk back. Mochi with the first game. That walk speed's dangerous.
We saw it. We saw that exact thing. Mochi taking control against Macho in a very distinguishable manner, right? I think Macho is not ready or prepared by the way that Mochi's been playing, at least within neutral, right? In this exact space, like, it's hard for Macho to even control. Like, throwing out that parry in anticipation for whatever Mochi wanted to rebuttal with and it didn't come through, it's like he's making these educated guesses, like, way more often than not. But let's see what he does on offense right now.
There's him to come down, does land the DP. Mochi with the anti-airs. That proper mid-range out, sprinkling in some fireballs. New ingredient.
No!
What that was he able to like jump in though? That would have been way better.
Yeah, dude, missed opportunity for a giant punish against the recovery of that fireball. Mochi though, backing away. Sorry, Macho though, backing away, getting that big opener down below, right? Being able to get that offense going. But yeah, just not in the corner. It's not going to be enough for someone like Ryu to get continuous pressure. This is rough though. The back throw now. Mochi trying to force Macho into an error. You saw him drive rush forward into the adamant fist. The objective for Macho, potentially get this burnout if he doesn't kill Mochi first. The punish counter against the donkey kick. I like that. Mochi does burn himself out. A little bit of a misstep. He thought Macho was going to be within range. He goes for the manual dive kick instead. Macho getting the round in game number 2. Mochi, how do you rebuttal, right? You're hovering within these ranges. Macho is not giving you any quarter. He hasn't really whiffed anything too major. The solar plexus within range, checking the walk back, nothing big out of it.
Delay, stand medium, no back throw instead. Do like that, he's switching up. Again, we mentioned these delays that Mochi has every so often. What's all about Macho right now? Oh, he's gonna kill! Oh my God, don't leave this character alive. Trying for that back throw, did not happen. And Macho taking a page out of Mochi's book to avoid back throw opportunities. Crouching medium kicks in that proper distance to do the damage. Evening things out, all right. We got a game.
As long as it's not free. I'm loving the rebuttal now from Macho. These reads coming into play against Mochi, knocking on the door a little bit, changing up the timing against his offensive approach. But if he's a little bit too close, he will get smoked just like that. I was just about to preface it with that low medium is looking rather nice for Mochi to start off with. A couple of checks on the down button. I like that.
Frame kill for the stand medium. That's hella meaty. It's like +4 if I'm not mistaken. Maybe more. Mochi with the proper setup. Set point for him. Keep that up.
Yeah,
I feel like you just cannot let Mochi get going.
You're definitely right, yeah. ODDP. Pretty big call out against Machabo. He's willing to show it off though. He's willing to show that he's not afraid of like some of the pressure that Ryu can present in the corner and like how deadly it can be to let Ryu run his course, right?
Exactly what I was about to highlight. The fact that this character did about the damage, but so can Akuma. Both characters glass cannons. And what's landing right here. Drive rush jab. The shimmy again, this time the counter poke from Machabo, forcing him to back off a little bit, or maybe that's the intent here for Mochi. 4 Fierce, lose a turn. That -3. Careful, the drive cage interrupts a drive rush with the 4 Fierce. Level 3, Sipness Calamity. It's a big goal. Mochi, 2-1. It was all a bait the entire time. You thought you could get comfortable going green on me? I have the 4 Fierce as the stop sign.
Pretty wild. Pretty wild to see Mochi taking it down in that fashion. Honestly, Machabo, he was feeling this exact way in the previous season, right? His confidence wasn't there up until the second half. And I don't want to say it was misplaced, right? Because it didn't lead to like the results that he wanted, but he needs to kick it into gear now. Like Mochi, it's only giving like more fuel to the fire the way that Mochi's been playing. He's on a pretty significant tide. I have pretty significant like boost, right? The way he played over in the previous, I want to say like the previous time that he was up on deck, having that anchor spot, you know for sure, like all the practice he's been putting in has got to be feeling real good.
These micro walks, the way that he's able to space things out, and also like his defense, like he'll jump back, avoid throws and things like that on wake up. Like I feel like Mochi has such excellent like choices on what he's doing. Obviously, there's some great delays from the side of Machabo, like the timing's got switched up a little bit, but the fact that he was so ready at that distance to stop a drive rush with a big button like 4 Fierce to maximize the results right after, very smart stuff. And now it comes down to this. And what I want it to come down to is Nemo pulling up. I need to see Nemo. I need to see the captains battle it out. I need to see Nemo. He's got a litany of characters. I need Nemo to really step it up for a squad and showcase what he can do out here. He's got the JP. He's got the Blanca. He's got the Bison. We'll have to rotate if he wants. Yes!
Oh, so it is going to be Nemo coming in with the Bison pick. I was thinking to myself, maybe they were reserving Kosa with Ryu. There was like a full breakdown of these last couple of weeks, last couple of days of like Blaz decimating some of the My players at higher stakes, right? I was thinking to myself, maybe there's something planned from the side of Kosa after like kind of simmering on that for a bit. But Nemo, he's also had a couple of highlights himself over on Twitter. He's been practicing a lot for a plethora of different games, but as of late, I think a couple of his tweets have highlighted his practice sessions against Mize.
I'm glad that he's developing his Bison for like more of these matchups and things like that. I saw him do like a string where like it's done to like you do like a block string to call out like crouching medium kick if they try to go for it right after. You go for the stomp, get a punish counter. Like things like that, you're looking out for their decision making and their anti shimming tools. But I'm glad that he's stepping up. This is what I wanted to say. I want to see him come up. I think Kosa would have been fine also because I think he's such a lab rat also. And I think seeing Blaz and other players that are Ryu that are working against that matchup, developing different strategies would have been great. But seeing the two captains go blow to blow like this is so sick. And KB is definitely a different sort of mind too. Like we think about the mind players and their strategies. It's very easy to see what type of mind they are. It feels like there's only a few types of minds, but KB is outside the rung of minds. Like he's a real deal mind player. I feel like even if mine wasn't like top 1 or top 2, whatever you want to say, if she was like top 5, top 6, I think he still would have played her. He's so effective with her. His matchup knowledge is great. What he does against these characters on Wake Up, we saw against like Sagat's Super, for example, he did level 2 in anticipation for that super. Just things like that show me that he is really putting time into just doing OD fan and drive rush jab or whatever it may be and going to level 1. He really try to understand the inner depths of the character further and further.
I can definitely get down with that. I was thinking about like the I was listening into the interview a little bit. The first thing they said was probably something along the lines of Osashiburi, like they were saying long time no see. I think it was in regards to him not being in the anchor spot. I think there's if you look at his overall record, the last time he was in the anchor spot was like a couple of weeks ago. Let me see one more time. So he was there for week number 2, and outside of that, not so much. So it's cool to see him back into the anchor spot to represent this Mai. It's a little bit problematic, I feel like, for I want to say the side of Nagoya NTPOJA. I think Nemo has the tools with Bison to take down this character, right? I feel like depending on whether or not Mai lets him charge, that'll set up the problem, right? I also think like Bison's presence in neutral is a little bit more dangerous if the fans aren't a factor, right? Being able to scissor kick, be able to gauge with standing medium kick. Also, if you're within range, you can get clipped by a standing heavy punch, and even so, if you block it, you're still gonna have your turn. So there's a lot to really consider.
And I like his one-player sort of style. Like he doesn't want you to play the game at all. Like it's been like that for years upon years. No matter what game that he plays, it's gonna be helped by the fact that the bomb is on. You have to reconsider what you're gonna do on defense, especially. KB said, "We're thinking we would get lower points in the second half, so I'm hoping we get this win today." Nemo said, "I've had enough Kachosins in practice. I'll throw Mai out of her throne right now." Oh yeah, that's a personal. He's the microaggressions, as you would put it, are kind of going crazy today. Preparing to play right here. KP getting the Oki.
Yeah, Division S has all the buys, right? Like every single week. And I'm like, you know what? Oh, that was sick. I didn't think it would catch on the other side, honestly. That throne is looking still pretty occupied by Mai. The Queen still getting the dome picked off from Nemo. I like that. First round to KB.
Starting off strong here, target combo or crouching me to punch into OD scissor kick, excuse me, lands it with the back fist. Drive rushing for the Oki. Bomb about to go off. Overhead blocked out. Great timing here from KP. And the perfect parry again. He knows when to turn blue and knows when these sequences are going to come through for the side of Nemo. Or buttons he wants to play. Kagero no Mai. Level 1. This is why she's able to reign for so long. This level 1 is so strong. The stock ups made him with the crouching fierce. Are you kidding me? Another heap me helping of level 1.
That was kind of sick too. KB played it rather well. And also the punish counter. Cancelable standing medium punch reaching about half screen. I'm exaggerating, obviously, but man, what a poke. And what a way to set yourself up too. Utilizing that walk speed, playing right into KB's hands is Nemo. Getting the first game pretty convincingly.
It's a lot that Bison can do in the neutral, but what happens when you're on the back foot like this? Get the counter hit, goes for the OD. But still, KB striking back, or so I thought. Blocked out easily. Back fist bomb is on. Oh, he hit the brakes, hit the crouching medium kick. It's gone. Mr. Clean, wipe it down.
What do you do now? Like, Nemo is looking a little bit dry. You can't convert off of a single hit. But man, the Devil's Reverse, we'll take that. KB tried to possibly put out a DP input at the last second.
Nemo backed off, he hit the combo. Could've way more. And again, another crouch fierce, this time blocked out and punished. The heads up from Nemo. The adaptations here from KB on the timings. But even more so, I feel like the fact that Nemo's had some moments and he saw him backdash and a scissor kick, like if he would have committed, this would have been looking different.
KB is just looking too strong in this matchup. Nemo, whatever practice he had put himself through, whatever practice sessions I should say specifically, I feel like it's just being countered and picked apart by KB, right? The pacing he's setting for himself is rather well. Up until this point, yeah, the backdash actually does get clipped. Nemo, on the way through, doesn't plant the bomb. Forward throw, still a little bit of time before that bomb goes off. An excellent choice. But the jump in against the Kachosen. Bring him back down, level 2. Nemo in control.
So that meter back as well. Confident walk up the stand mediums. KB looking for that neutral jump to call the scissor kick. Second part of the fan gives him some space. Oh, he could have had it right there. The jab, but it's hard to confirm. Give a DRC from that. Driver light kick too far out. KB with the proper spacing. It's level 1. This could all be routed right back. Don't want to jump back on points, the OD, but too hungry. That entry point. Don't fall in the fan. Oh, he couldn't anti-air in time. The jumping is fine, Nemo. Jump fierce.
Whew. Very lucky too. That was a back roundhouse that came in from KB, if I'm not mistaken. The startup of it, at least.
No way! Okay, there we go. Overhead, back this on. KB able to tech so many times up in the corner. Defense and offense now, empty low.
Oh, no work punishment side, a little bit too stubby from the side of Bison. KB calling it all right. A little bit of a gap against Nemo. Catching medium punch, excellent. Bring him back down. Level 3 doesn't kill, but the exchange rate, pretty darn good for the Violence Emperor.
Heavily in his favor. In the green, no. Just go for the jump in, blocked out. I like that immediate side switch from Nemo. Escaping the corner. But KB with the button, the stand medium stops him. Burns himself out. A lot of bar to utilize. Up in the corner. Suppress the issue. He's got level 2, he's got level 3 to buffer. Not gonna try to trade with his character. Jump back super against the OD. This man's too ready. Caught him lacking and slacking. Let's get cracking. CA 2 games KB. You can't be doing that.
You can't be doing that. That's true. You can't. You really can't. Like, he's just too ready. He's just way too ready. Right? That jump back was a big bait. Had Nemo been up there just a little bit earlier with the OD Cycle Crusher, then potentially getting the anti-air, sure, but it's too hard to call. It's too difficult to get something off like that at that range and also at that time.
Yeah. Like, you might have studied for other Mi's, but we mentioned how informed his Mi is. The matchup knowledge is great. The understanding what people want to do is great. These are things that you don't typically see people do, but KB has labbed it out effectively. And if I'm not mistaken, I think KB did play a little bit of Bison, so he understands the pain points of the character, so it definitely helps out in that regard for him. But even then, like, there's a lot of initiation that's been happening from Nemo that he hasn't been able to fully convert. But even if that were the case, even if he was more consistent in some of these hits, if he could find more success, I don't think it would matter that much. KB is just outplaying him to a T. And it's been so difficult to get anything started. Some of the back fists and bombs are on, and then KB's able to tech or block out a sequence with the bomb is on. He has been able to be defensively solid this entire time.
It's rather difficult to see, man. Nemo has not really found the control that he wants to. The bomb defense from KB has been a little bit of a cluster for like Nemo's offensive choices, right? KB has been prepared for so many different instances, right? Keeping himself like rather ambiguous as to when he wants to throw the fans. I think his walk speed utilization against Bison has been rather difficult to contest with too. It's hard to call. It's hard to call and hard to see like Nemo try to dictate the pace, no pun intended. Like, it really is rather difficult to take that space away from Mai.
Well, they're trying to meditate after trying to dictate and trying to figure out what to do against KB. But again, it's like there's two levels. It's like, this is how you fight Mai, but then how do you fight KB? How do you fight him as a player? Like, that's the difficulty, I think, right now. And they're trying to figure that out. And I don't even know what you could do as Nemo right here in the scenario. Like, that one-player game that you're trying to play, when you even access the bomb, as you mentioned, it doesn't even matter. KB is not even stressed about the bomb on. He's able to tech continuously. He's able to block it out. He's understanding the timings of, like, okay, overhead, the bomb goes off. Cool, I'll just block this out. You're not going to throw me in the middle of this. Like, I'm fine. And if you do throw me, whatever, I'm going to have the lead. He's understanding the frustration where, like, okay, well, I have to initiate with OD Cycle Crusher because I need some way to get in and get things going. KB is like, I'll read that perfectly. Dealing with the anti-air, so the crouch fierce we saw, he's just doing everything excellent. Like, I legit do not know what Nemo has to do. Nemo is on you, or it's about to be a free game for the Nagoya NTPOJA, at least in this anchor position. Yeesh.
We'll see. We've seen some 0-3 miracles come back before from both divisions. Let's see if it's going to be here now. Nemo getting the first try. That was a punish counter, by the way.
Okay, crouch fierce finally anti-airs, but wakes up with the jabs. Defensive decisions. Beautiful from KB. It's hard to punish scissor kicks. He's gonna hold pair there. Dash up throw. Take some of that drive gauge. Oh, could have been more, but again, hard to do so in the heat of the moment.
Oh. Oh my god. No whiff punishes inside. Nemo letting a lot of these normals fly, but I guess he's just not comfortable with the ranges, or maybe he knows better, right? Maybe Bison's not going to be able to reach out. Not even with like a singular hit either, but it's hard to call.
KB just walking back in the structuring. Driver stand light kick, stand fierce, does nothing to him at all. The DP is there. Perfectly does the anti-air. Spicy in the corner. Oh, he thought he was going to play a button, but Nemo blocks it out. Level 2 gotta come through.
Yeah, this burnout is going to be so critical. Oh, actually, he's dead. My mistake. I thought he was going to live by like a pixel or something. That's crazy damage. My fault, gang.
Good routing right there. Yeah. For the fireball. It's a two-piece right there with the heavy kick. I actually really just got the heavy kick look like on landing. +1. Versatile jab, but no crouching medium punch right after. I think that would have reached.
Possibly. The world may never know now. KB on the assault. Does get a conversion off of the target combo. Big punish. What a bait out too from the drive rush. Nemo ready for it. Couple of different looks. I like that. ODDP, especially when it's not his turn. And the medium punch again. Nemo. He's been really adamant about these drive rushes thus far. He's only been checked so often, but when they do get checked, it's often for lethal.
Hands from the fan. Avoid the throw. Both of them jumping out of the corner. Nobody wants to be there. Not a safe hood. Stand fierce, crouching mini punch, because it's a counter hit combo. Ends it with the back fist. Drive rush throw. He takes that though. Once again, KP, even with the bomb on, does not care. This man is so ready for everything. Drive rush overhead interrupted though. As I say that, Nemo ready to protect his dome.
Ay, trying to go for the drive impact. You pay so much for this, especially with how little drive gauge you have left. Yeah, KB's gonna be in full control after this if it does not kill, which it will not. No, no way!
No gaps. Can't do that. KB has a slight lead. Scissor kick. Crushing meter kick, but no, still able to find the hell attack. I thought it's gonna be a mistake, but he still finds a follow-up right after that stays solid, puts a game on the board. Oh, but you see how much it took though. At that point for KB to allow a gap to happen. Or you're not even allowing a gap to happen, had a gap happening.
Oh.
Signs of life.
Yeah, huge. Most definitely signs of life. Huge sigh of relief coming in from Nemo as well. Finding himself in this corner though, what's the defense gonna be like? Finding the gap, standing light kick to kind of push KB back away now. He's back dashing for God knows what. I feel like he's anticipating maybe like a scissor kick. He's forcing Nemo to move forward to break his charge. It's a lot really going on in the space away from Nemo. This is tough though.
Like the counter poke though. Flip out, so going with the jabs. Southern light, we'll go for the anti-air. We'll take the space up with the drive rush. Jumping back for that stand medium. Look at this, Nemo, are just afraid of drive rush. KB not afraid of drive rush at all. Oh, could have been off the DRC.
KB playing so annoyingly too, and it catches Nemo off guard. You see the counter hit, the timing against Nemo being thwarted. Look at that match point. KB taking so much space away from Nemo before he even gets to act. It's just so frustrating too. And then just when he feels like it, standing medium punch or some of the other mediums, finally getting a big whiff punish. Nemo starting things off, but at the cost of what, right? He's already rather dry the perfect parry. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, now up in the corner, the DI gonna happen. He went to burnout just as that happened too as well. Level 1, of course. Kagero no Mai up in the corner. Backs off maybe for a reversal super, gets right back in there with the overhead. All the enhancements making more damage happen. But the crouch meter kick will save the day for a little bit. This is doable, it's possible. Plus.
Possibly looking for a bait. That's why he did a devil's reverse. This should be more than enough damage. Can you believe it? Nagoya NTPOJA taking down Saishunkan, Seoul, Kumamoto, and their beloved Emperor.
Man, KB is too ridiculous. This man is on a win streak. Will continue with 5 games in total to his name, and that is 30 points. We're going NTPOJA taking down the team of Seoul. But like, you might have practiced against other My players. You might have had to fight My players in CFN continuously, but you ain't practiced against KB. That man is different. That guy baited out so many crouch fierces. He had less fear in his heart against the bombs and things like that. That guy is just great on defense, offense, everything working out for him. There were a few great moments we saw from Nemo. That driver stand, light kick, stand fierce did work out once. You started to whip punish things here and there. But when you have stand medium stopping you from drive rushing, you got the enhancement of the fans, taking away your drive cage, you're caught up in the corner and taking so much damage. And then things like this, jump back, waiting for you to cycle crusher or do whatever. He even jumped back 3 times and lets you know, don't do that. You can't be doing that. KB is just beyond a typical My player, in my opinion.
I would have to agree with that for sure. But I will say, like, Nemo's tenacity with the chase down was it felt like there was going to be a lot of faith going forward into the next match. But KB, even our producer said, he's just too optimal, right? Like, his pacing of the match is just too much against Nemo's playstyle. And we even saw some really big risks taken from Nemo. Like, big highlight from the drive impact that he utilized, immediately getting blown up, right? 0% use in regards to this drive rush. And also a little bit too predictable when it comes to having the bomb on. KB getting the perfect parry against the OD Psycho Crusher was like a big hint of that, right? So I'm not sure how else Nemo is supposed to approach this matchup if somebody's just too ready for the approach, right? It's so hard to mask what your intentions are while the bomb is on, because, like, you know for sure, like, you know the time's winding down, you know someone's going to try to close the gap and try to not steal turns, but like enforce their offensive pressure with plus frames. It's just so difficult and inconsistent right now for Nemo.
Yeah, I think the way that he plays that matchup is definitely not the right way when you're fighting someone like KB, who is outside the range, as you mentioned, against stand medium and ready for any sort of drive rush initiation. And as you mentioned, like, the bomb's just like not doing anything. Like, that's the biggest damage access for Bison. Obviously, he's got routings with supers that can do some damage, but generally speaking, if you want damage or to make the most of a scenario, you need the bomb on. Like, that has to happen. And that was just not happening. And he got a little bit too hungry to make that happen, to enforce it to happen. But KB, though, like, the way that he plays this character, like, you can hate Maya as much as you want, whatever it may be, but y'all got to give credit to the way he is understanding matchups and using her to a different sort of standard. And honestly, I'd like to see KB travel a lot more. If I'm being so real, I don't think he even travels that much, if at all. I don't know if he's even traveled this season, but I'd like to see what he does in, like, a worldwide circuit. We'll see what he does in the World Warrior. Still going on. For right now, big ups to NTPOJA. What a big turnaround from what they had last season to this season. It's 30 points on their board. Otani going to be starting off the interview. Again, I want to see what he does with his Ken, because I don't think that there's anything wrong with Ken in terms of that character can't do it. It's just Otani trying to fit what he wants to do with the character and make it work out here in Street Fighter League.
I think that's fair, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Otani pulled out the Terry. I think Terry does a phenomenal job against the meta. I also think that character could fight pretty well against Mai, right? Like, just trading spaces with Terry with his power wave against the fan. Like, one, it goes under the fan too. Number two, if you kind of delay it, like Punk actually showed this off over at US Canada East World Warrior number 5. He would intentionally wait for the fan to get closer, throw out the power wave, and although he would get hit, he would recover instantly from throwing out the projectile, and it prevents Mai from drive rushing forward into it. So it allows him to close the gap even further, or at least put himself in a space where he could, like, burn knuckle through and be positive. So I wouldn't mind if Otani actually made that full switch to Terry, if he's going to play against the plethora of other Mais out there, specifically coming from Victrix Favu Gaming. But that's going to be a very niche matchup that he has to prepare for. If anything, I don't even know what the schedule looks like just yet. If we were to size up Nagoya NTPOJA going forward for, like, the second half, let me take a quick look, right? They would have to face off against Victrix Favu Gaming week number 7, and they are in the home positioning. So there is potential here, right? I think there's a lot of potential to be had if Otani does manage to pick up the Terry specifically for the Mai matches.
I feel like that'd be a good idea for him. Like, even have a secondary character like Uriel Villarreal has it in his hands for having a Ken and a Terry. I think that's a good idea. Tony did say he was expecting Kobe and Kosa, and he didn't really want to go this episode, but he was cheering for Mochi so much that he didn't have to play today. Seiya said, I'm just a guy smiling on the stream. I'm not getting a win at all, but I'll do better next time. And Mochi said, it's my first time winning online, and I'm relieved that I was able to win online too.
You know, it's tough as the rookie sometimes. Like, I don't know how many other like outstanding rookies there are in Division S outside of like Sahara. Sahara's been doing a phenomenal job, obviously. He's going to be the main like outlier when it comes to quote unquote rookie skill. Just because I think he has the most experience out of all of them thus far. So it is rather difficult. A lot of pressure coming in from Seiya, but I think he's doing an okay job still. Even looking at the other rookies, like who else is there, really? So there's Seiya, obviously you mentioned him. Takagi for sure. So yeah, out of the three, yeah, that is kind of rough because Takagi had some really clutch moments too. Like he had his showcase, he had his pop-offs, and he delivered also offline and online when he was over at the Red Bull Tokyo Sphere. So
that's true.
It is it's kind of rough right now for Seiya. He's got a lot of he got a lot of room to work with though. I think he's okay. He doesn't have to hang his head for a bit. I think he'll be all right.
Honestly, I think since Topanga League, and people have kind of noticed him and his strengths, like I think that also kind of put a target on his back going into Street Fighter League, so people are extra prepared. I don't know if Kobeon played Seiya in Topanga League at all, if that was a run back or anything like that, but I'm sure after seeing how good he is, they were like, okay, we got to get ready for this cat. So might be a part of that too as well. But KB also says, we were just too desperate about the second half of the season. Even this win will make me feel like we finally have a chance. What a turnaround once again to be able to be like, hey man, we have a chance at winning this whole thing. Forget the playoffs, but just winning this whole thing. And they've been so solid, so strong that they deserve to have that feeling. With their players just being overall really strong, obviously we need like, you know, Otani maybe needs to get a little bit more informed. We could definitely do that. You have KB, whose Maya is insane, Mochi, who's getting better with the Akuma, and Seiya, who is a little shaky, but I think this will be the turnaround for him. It's a good composition of characters and team members. And KB also said, there was one thing I was happy about today, and it was that I was able to reverse DI with a DI. We were so scared of these DIs. Hopefully, we won't be afraid of it as much. Listen, I'm afraid for it too, brother. I agree, KB. Don't worry about it. Everyone wants that award. Everyone's getting unchecked out here. It's dangerous.
Yeah, that was, I think he was the main one highlighted by High Fight. He's like, Japan's been talking about DIs affecting certain age ranges, and he was like, he was the main highlighted video. Like KB just getting smoked like DI after DI. So I get it. I don't even know how old KB is, but I know he's been around the block for a bunch. The player formerly known as Bonbon. But yeah, I think I'm glad he found his redemption, at least on a platform like Street Fighter League Japan. That feels kind of good.
Getting revenge out here, denying people their awards, trying to get his own on. That's what we're saying. I wonder if like counter DIs count as a DI. That's production that a little bit later on. But either way, yo, KB doing it big for his team and also DIing them back and getting revenge in multiple ways. Nagoya NTPOJA, standout team. Again, when I was looking at this team, I wouldn't have called them to be as strong as they are, and that's no offense to their quality. It's just at the level of other players and seeing them more consistently made me think that they'd be on the lower end of things. But the way that they're just progressing has been insane, shooting up actually. He also said further on there's going to be a good amount of a break after this match, and I'm afraid of the update on the 15th, so it all depends on this. I feel like, though, with the update, besides Viper, I feel like they're not going to change too much with the game. The last time I think they changed the game drastically, it was like, what, December last year? So I feel like they're not going to do like a big change. I don't know, though. I have no idea. Maybe they will change things up for Maya, but he's like, please don't shoot her kneecaps. Please leave Maya alone. That's what I know that he is trying to say. But I don't know, brother.
How do you feel about that? Like,
the way you play it?
Gonna happen?
Shoot.
I think it's gonna happen.
So.
I'll say it.
So?
I think it's gonna happen. I think Maya's gonna get her like kneecaps busted. Okay, maybe if anything, it'll be like I think maybe a slap on the wrist rather than like full-blown kneecaps.
Okay. Yeah, I think it'll be slap on the wrist also if they do it. I feel like they've never really cut down a character completely. People have thought they've cut down a character like with Ed, even with Ken, but those characters are still very, very strong. And the way that this game is, no matter who you play, they can still cook. We saw that with World War, with Lily winning, of all characters. Lily! And Daigo getting second, by the way, that was super sick. You know, big Daigo fan. Seeing him get top 8 was fantastic. But again, I feel like no matter what they do with the characters, like, yeah, they might be weaker, but I feel like they're still able to do what they need to do in terms of landing victories. Maybe it'll be harder depending on what nerfs are happening or buffs to the characters or system mechanics. But if they do change anything, I think you're right. It'll probably be a little bit of a slap on the wrist and a minor adjustment to make her a little bit more oppressive or a little bit less oppressive in certain scenarios. We'll see what they do, though.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of fair to say, like, even if they do get cut down to size to a certain degree, there's still a lot of potential there. JP easily the best example, right? But in terms of keeping their full functioning bodies, right? You definitely have to keep that in mind when it comes to Red Bull's BC1, right? The Breakdancing Championships are going to be happening. The World Finals in Tokyo, November 9th. Honestly, this seems kind of sick. I would love to even like watch, like be in attendance, because the vibes are out of control. I've definitely seen some of the highlights on YouTube, and man, my body wishes it could still do stuff like that. I haven't been in high school in like decades, so seeing these guys do the things that they do at like high levels is crazy.
Yeah, we saw Reinhardt break it down over the Capcom Cup. Hopefully he returns. We get to see more of that too as well. That man's a man of many talents. But it looks like people can watch Street Fighter League with these open live viewings. I wish we kind of had that once again for US and EU. Maybe we'll have to do it at our locals because we don't have the same geographical transportation benefits that Japan has. But it is cool to see people kind of line up and watch everything that's happening with Street Fighter League. I don't know if they get to play out there, if they have like casuals, but even if they don't, the fact that they're lining up and watching their favorite teams together is super sick. And you can support it. Is this merch? What is this right here? Or is this just going through the teams that are around? I don't know what this is, but it's super sick.
It's just the public viewing campaign.
A poster.
Right, they're just letting people know that what's going down. Oh, it is a poster. Right on. That's pretty cool.
That's hanging up in your room. Once again, Street Fighter League is like a sporting event, so it makes sense to see merch like this exist.
Yeah, I mean, like overall, they've done a really great job of like campaigning a lot of their players, and also at the same time, like really building up their organizations as well. So, really imperative time, especially with how much is on the line, right? We talk about getting into Capcom Cup 12. This is also one of those instances where you can. The Fight Club Championship Sticks held in Chengdu, China, going to be happening at the end of the month. Day 1 is on Halloween. October 31st, going into November. You guys do not want to miss that, right? We have back-to-back bangers in terms of the matches and also in terms of majors. But when we come back, we have our marquee matchup between CAT Osaka and Crazy Raccoon. You do not want to miss it. We'll see you right around the break.
それでは一旦失礼いたします。
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
指令者ロボティクス部門研究開発課ワーカホリック気味の研究主任。そんな私の秘密はある情報機関の潜入工作員クリムゾンバイパー。それが私のコードネーム。手間かけさせないでね。暴れないでね。さっさと負けてくれない？次の仕事があるんだけど。
大カプコン展ついに東京で開催。世界を魅了し続けるカプコン。ゲーム作りの裏側に迫る貴重な展覧会。新たなグッズも登場。詳しくは公式サイトで。
美人さんがなめんなよと本当に思いながらやってましたね。美人さん。ああ、じゃあ美人じゃない、美人じゃない。
ドライブゲージ
いいねいいね。
いいよいいよいいよ、めっちゃいい。いいよ。はい。いったんじゃない、さすがに。
いっちゃうこれ。
肘、玉、肘。
はいはい。
ああ、すごい。これいった。
難しいのいくね。
いい SN2
誰がレイズ。
ナイス。
はい。
うますぎ。
はいはい。
タイガーコーナー。ナイス。きたー。何それ。
その選択肢。
絶対派生が出てない。
絶対違い。
いいね。
いいよ。
おい、意識高すぎ。
タイガーナイス拾い。
あ、いや、おいしい。
でかい。
タイガー元に戻し。おお。全然いい。ナイス。惜しい。
うわ、
どこに。
警戒が必要。生らしに言わせる。
いった。行ってほしい行ってほしい。
はい。
いった。
はいはい。
やったぜこれいったのだ。
嬉しい。タイム。
ほら。
タイガー。
バジナイス。
CAG Osaka, Crazy Raccoon. Our final match of the night is going to be an absolute barn burner. My name is Senkola. I'm joined with Vicious. We are about to see, hopefully, that practice that Crazy Raccoon has put in against Blanca work out. We'll get to that in 1 second, but first we'll start off with CAG Osaka. The boy becomes a man. Takagi going wild, not wild with that block. We saw him pop off in the offline spear. He is definitely accustomed to Street Fighter League. Very standout star right there. The Eternal Ace. Oreo might be switching it up today, putting the sauce to the side for something a little bit different. You'll have to see in a second here. But first, the Limited Dragon Dance. It's Eita with that ever impressive Akuma. We've seen him work his strategy, be a little bit different on offense and defense and what we expect from the history, what he's been putting down. The reticent perfectionist. Again, I don't know what that means, but I do know Finrich has been more than capable of taking on the competition in multiple games. This squad is super sick, but they got to find their footing now because this is the halfway part of the season.
I never noticed like the announcer part of this for CAG Osaka kind of like laughs a little bit. What is Eita doing? What is Takagi doing? My man is ready. These guys are a bunch of goobers, man. I love this team. Actually, one of my favorite teams to watch. Let's talk about their opponents. Right into it. Crazy Raccoon with a current standing second place at 90 points under their name, and we saw how hyped they got during their highlight over during the break, right? This whole squad is energetic as hell with the game to back it. So let's talk about it as we get into the introductions. Crazy Raccoon, starting things off with one of our favorites, coming in with that judgment, possibly with the Sagat. I hope so. It's Bonchan! Followed by the man who is loved by all fighting games, and that is truly a big fact. It's Kazunoko. The Asura with the fists, whether it's Marisa or Akuma, best believe he's delivering that pain. It is Shuto. All bound by the pact with the devil. Coming in with the devilish strategies, it is Dogura. Easily one of my favorite teams out there. All some of the best personalities. A lot of history amongst at least 3 of these veterans. And I believe Shuto had meshed quite well with each and every one of these individuals, forming the perfect team in my opinion.
I like the energy that they have. Recently, they were streaming their practice against Blanca. They got Kings Vega, and they just got all the squad up in there, and they were like, we got to practice matchup. This character, it might be cooking us up. So I like the fact that they were getting ready for Tagaki. We'll see where they place him. CAG Osaka places him, excuse me. Here's the order. Finrich to start things off. I forgot that Finrich also has a Blanca too as well. The practice is going to be well put to the test. Oreo on the Chun-Li. That's the switch up we were talking about. Tagaki in the anchor position, and Eita waiting in the wings in the extra.
Kind of tough to manage, right? I mean, it's made a pretty good practice for Crazy Raccoon to prep for that Blanca specifically, but I didn't think the double-double was going to be coming out. And also the big surprise pick, Oreo. He had messed around with Chun-Li in previous weeks as well. Didn't find that exact success. He actually switched back to Jamie to get the W. Dogura coming up first. Interesting. Okay. The Elena versus Blanca coming in from Crazy Raccoon to start things off. And you know, Dogura had a very explosive anchor match against Fujimura in the previous week where he absolutely smoked him. So he's definitely feeling some type of way, feeling a lot of confidence with himself. But looking at the previous record overall, I'm actually kind of curious. Division S also has a lot of the Blanca players, now that I think about it. But Dogura's been doing a pretty decent job outside of like the normal standings, right? He played in the tiebreaker set against Kosa in week number 2. Fell a little bit short against that Ryu. But outside of that, he played what, weeks 3 and 4, and managed to salvage himself, right? Managed to get some of these big W's. So against the Blanca matchup, I'm not too sure how this is going to go for Dogura.
Yeah, I don't know how much practice. You know, once again, going out of your way to have to get Blanca practice is definitely difficult. You have to go for Kings Vega or the two that are presented in Street Fighter League, at least in the realm of Japan. Maybe Nishikin when he's playing, I think he did not too bad with the World Warriors previously, like the last one. But either way, like, you know, like getting that practice is kind of difficult. And then they all play so differently. So for Dogra, it's going to be a big test. But on the reverse, how many Elena players do you get to play at high level? Sako, Dogra, Kosaku, and that's really about it. In Japan, you know, there's obviously people that are outside of the U.S. that are starting to see the power, or even saw her power before, like Pax and things like that. But and maybe Mike X. There aren't that many people that you can get practice with just in general. So it's going to be a test of two players who don't get that much practice, and one of them maybe gets a little bit more. But the diversity of Blanca players and what they do, it might actually put them off a game. I don't get to see this matchup too often, if at all. I don't think I've ever seen this matchup, at least at high level. I'm not mistaken, but we're going to see it right now. Let's see what Fenrich is saying. I don't know what the heck he's popping off at. What's going on?
No idea, but hopefully we get that that translation coming in. Hopefully. Yeah, so it's gonna be Fenrich first, obviously getting his interview translated. Dogra second as well. But I'm really trying to think about the pacing that Elena can set. So we'll see how this kind of plays out. I think Elena does have the tools to kind of prevent like some of the activity Blanca can get away with. We talk about some of the counter pokes that Blanca can play with. Like crouching medium punch is an excellent tool. What else? Right? Do you feel like Blanca kind of plays more? Yeah, Crouch Fierce is definitely an excellent poke for sure. Do you feel like Blanca also plays in a similar style as Elena, where he's like kind of on the back burner outside of like being obnoxious with Blanca balls, if need be, which is something we haven't seen from Fenrich or any of the Blanca players thus far? Do you feel like Blanca has to kind of tread second for the most part? Like when we watch Menard, he's not always the aggressor out the gate, right?
Yeah, out the gate he's not. But when he gets in, he does a lot like light punch, crouching light punch, whatever. He gets walk back to establish his pressure right after. But I think when things start off, you're right. I think he still kind of plays like a second, like I'm going to play second sort of nature. So maybe it's one of those matchups where whoever plays first kind of loses. But having Blanca ball to disrupt the rhythm every so often might help in Blanca's favor. Like at least you have something to initiate with. She's got, you know, the song to spit in with, but that's not going to be nearly as detrimental or as like quick as like a Blanca ball or an air Blanca ball. So like those things might help out if he has to initiate. But I think it might be one of those matchups where who plays second is going to win, who plays first is going to lose. Oh.
Damn. Immediately, the air ball, Fenrich to get out of harm's way. Catching Dogra trying to throw. Counter hit. Off with a low medium kick.
Really raw slide. Wait, punishes the crouching medium punch. Gets an overhead combo right after. But here's the perfect pair on that driver stand medium kick. Good entry tool, but he knew what to do. Eat him up. Oh, you're so nasty for that.
Frames, gets the back throw. Dogra with the lead, considerably so. He's going to be backing away, right? He's not going to be overzealous with that drive rush. He's going to try to out-poke. Fenrich, though, you got to spend it. Yeah, absolutely you have to spend it. Level 1, a little micro step forward on that one as well. I like the rebuttal. Funny enough, yeah, Dogra going for the sweep, although it is far. Fenrich just out of range slightly. He had so much green behind him as well, but I guess he just wanted to try to out-poke.
Huh. A little strange. Driver stand medium kick. Air block a ball again. The disruptor. Level 1 wants to lead his side of things. Pretty much dashing in to get poked out. The super. Get some of your bar back. And some healing. Okay. Rare to see. Get your health up. I don't mind this at all.
Walking back, that walk speed actually paying off against the OD air ball, excuse me. Drive rush on in there, Hella plus. He backs away again! Calling out Fenrich. Level 2 intact. Doesn't even need it, the scratch. Yo, this character does mad damage.
Meterless with meter. Kind of wild, her routing is insane. With the crouching meter kick now, reassesses, realigns. See with the scratch wheel. OD jump. ODP though from Dogura, willing to spin. No close up burnout, and again another back step, avoiding these scenario situations. Into level 3, green lock.
I see what you did there.
Boy's already in the yellow. Oh. Off the driver's crouching medium kick, still enough to kill Dogura. God dang.
He is looking so clean with this character too. So he did what? Spin scythe into Rhino Horn. I wonder if he gets scratch wheel at the end of that. I think he does, right? I'd imagine so. That's a lot of carry on him. I don't know if she gets charged extra for bringing those bags on board, but I'll tell you what, she's definitely got some sort of premier status. She'd be definitely getting some miles on her.
That mileage must fit right now. Dogura already put him in the corner. Round start. Two different things. He tried to go for the overhead, but unfortunately did not get the confirm. Finish. Chance to get that side switch. Baits off the ODP. DI to kill the rest of the drive gauge. I like that. But as he went for the knee hop to maybe catch a crouching medium kick, there's the drop kick instead. Raw slide. Try to go for the throw. Air bucket ball. Overhead. Rock crusher.
Yeah, this should be more than enough. No meters spent from the side of Fenrich. I think that was more so a lack of defense from the side of Dogura. Even before that DI had happened, right? He did have bar for it, but he didn't want to spend it considering the life lead. But even so, like a jump in kind of wailed out. The overhead also, second time he's caught him within this round, sorry, within this game.
Oh, he delayed, but got on the recovery. I think of the second jab right there. The stand medium kick. Out of the corner, drive rush, light kick interrupts. Start with the lightning beast. Slide for the knockdown, drive rush overhead, yes! Rock crusher. It's enough, level 1. A pickup to get it done. You know, Fenrich was one of the best at using level 2. Even when Blanca got it nerfed, he said, I still got mix for it. Don't worry about it. I still got more mix.
And Dogura actually got hit standing against the Rock Crusher, by the way. So I think Dogura opting for movement a lot of the times. Not necessarily ready for some of the drive rush instances. So maybe he'll pick it up. Perhaps within this game, Fenrich, he might put him to the test so far. He does block overhead, but it was plus. So I mean, like him trying to press a button. You saw the counter hit against Dogura. Committing to the rest of the target combo. Oh boy.
Express towards the corner. Backs away. Let's get the punish off the heavy kick. Get the OD, the super right after it. Smart routing here from Dogura. Get the DP right after. Yes, sir. The throw, but recovers the time to stay fine. Blocks out the OD ball and hits that heavy kick. It's such a good shimmy tool. It might be one of the best in the business because you were able to kind of lurch back a little bit, catch buttons on recovery, or even start up as you see right there. Dogura set point.
Yeah, 2 big counter conversions from the side of Dogura off of that roundhouse. Really sets them up for the next round. Fenrich, again, drive rush on in with a standing sword. OD, scratch wheel, hella damage to your drive gauge. Barely surviving, though, with a little bit left. And Dogura actually gets a huge change of pace with that punish counter. Looking rather dry as Fenrich. Dogura knows it. He's on the offensive. He does get the slide. Perfect parry for Fenrich. We're going to see an activation for sure.
Towards the corner. High enough to set up little Blanca-chan. Out the pocket. Time to do work. Try to go for the throw, get picked up instead. Lift off. OD to finish things off. Final game, final round.
Was rather difficult to contest against, but I think if you're Dogura, you're feeling okay going into the potential final match. Actually, this is the final round for this match, excuse me. 2 bars, the Fenrich is 1. Already rather drive. This is huge for Dogura.
Wow. Going to Mad Ashy. It's level 2 in a better sort of way. Nice punish counter. A ball, get the hop. Thought he's going to play a button. He does not. Got to get back with that bar. I have to activate real soon here. Overhead, no confirm, though. Stand meeting. He was standing. It could have been more.
Activation off a block. No, sir. Dogura ready for it. In between, from one ball to the other. Oh, boy.
So one anti-air. One touch. Blocks out the Rock Crusher, takes the turn, and takes the game. Dogura What's yours is mine.
Sure, we'll take that. That was rather really good deductions on like Dogura making the right calls and reactions against Fenrich's block strings and also some of the false things he's thrown out there while in Lightning Beast mode. This is a huge start for Crazy Raccoon, the way that Dogura started it off with like the Elena play. Like just looking at game number one, game number one, I thought it was rather convincing from the side of Dogura. Despite it being like round to round, I think he played his resources rather well, and he also played out some of the tendencies that Fenrich was taking, at least on defense. But overall, right, like some of these single hits just lead to so much.
Yeah, more level 2 stuff definitely came through from Fenrich at the very end. But I think Dogura's tendencies, as you mentioned, to call out what you want to do after certain strings, plus certain scenarios, and him DPing the level 2, like that matchup knowledge we saw with Mai, we see it out here against Blanca. Like, he just understands what to do against his character. I guess that practice paid off. They were playing against King's Vega for like, it felt like 3 hours. I like left Bachan's stream and came back, and they were still playing him hours later. So that practice against Blanca paid off. They do secure the first game so far, but who do we send up next?
Ooh, Kazunoko going up against Urio's Chun-Li. I like that too. I don't know if Urio's going to be prepared for the type of style that Kazunoko presents with that Kami. Right? Not going to be your standard. There's definitely a lot of different looks that Kazunoko looks for in regards to like how he plays the ground game and then switches it up into like playing rather airborne. But no matter what, it's still a rather aggressive style that not a lot of people are used to. Like people drown in some of these matches against Kazunoko rather quickly.
Yeah, once he gets aerial with it, that means he's comfortable. That means he's in his comfortability zone. And it's hard to stop him because he has so many varied looks. Like he'll dive kick short, he'll do jump ins, he'll empty jump low and things like that. It's hard to know what he's going to do exactly, so you better have the DPs on point. I think that Chun-Li can contest, at least she has the buttons and walk speed, but that dive kick is going to be like the biggest thing for Urio, even as a player. Are you picture perfect in where you're at in terms of like where you're standing? Are you able to back off and whip punish for a medium punch? Or are you able to DP when need be? Are you able to just kind of block it out when Kazunoko does something that you don't feel like you can DP or anti-air? You have things like heavy kick, but in terms of like the risk reward, it's more in favor, I feel like, of Cammy to land these dive kicks or these jump ins more so than it is for Chun-Li to land a punish on recovery or anti-air more continuously. And that's been a big access point for the character. And as you mentioned, it's definitely a different look than other Cammy players. Urio, though, has been practicing Chun-Li. I feel like I see him, and we said we see him on Street Fighter League, but even outside of Street Fighter League, we do see him practice quite a bit of Chun-Li on his streams and play quite a bit of games and kind of grind that character out. So it's good to see him back in form if he feels like a matchup isn't working with Jamie, or he feels like his Jamie isn't working. He's clear to go with a different character. Urio says, Naru, thanks to your mistake at the call, we were relaxed right now. What does that mean? I wonder if that means like mistake in terms of who's going to win or who's favored.
I have no idea. I'd imagine it has something to do with like the pre-show perhaps during like maybe Hamago's choice, but I'm not too sure because Hamago is big chilling at home right now. Like he's definitely like restreaming the event, so I'm not too sure if it was like a pre-show kind of thing. But hopefully we can get that kind of identified perhaps. But other than that, I'd imagine Urio's got to be feeling rather confident. Seeing the Chun-Li pick does have me a little worried though, right? Like pulling out the Chun-Li being on the away side despite playing Jamie for majority of the season makes me feel like you should have gone for it, right?
Yeah, you've already warmed up that character. Like, you can practice on your stream all you want. You can play in tournaments and things like that. But then you get into Street Fighter League, your team's rooting for you to continue. You don't want to get 40 bombed. You're already low in the standings. A different sort of weight and energy that you have to deal with. So going with like a warmed up character, matchup be damned or not. You know, comfortability might be a better factor here. But he did say last time he played Kazunoko, he lost, so he'll get his revenge. But Kazunoko said, I practiced for Jamie and Chun-Li. I hope I'm ready. If he says he hopes he's ready, he's ready. He is more than ready. That is a really good sign for Kazunoko and a bad sign for Urio, if we're being so real.
We say that, but he wasn't ready for Ryukichi when he said he was in the previous week.
Oh yeah, you're
It's
right.
tough though. That's difficult though because that's I'll give him the grace on that one.
Yeah.
Looking at its overall record, Kazunoko also failed against Kobrion, The only W that Kazunoko has had going into this was against Kawano, which is a pretty solid start, right? You gotta be feeling pretty confident against like a meta character. Chun-Li is definitely not gonna be like, I guess, in that kind of rank. So we'll see if Kazunoko manages against Urio's different style and approach as Chun-Li.
Yeah, we're definitely as aggressive as you would see him on Jamie. We see him with the Chun-Li, very active with the buttons, the movement. There it is. Catching the dive kick, the recovery of it, hitting another low. Okay, so he definitely understands the dive kick opportunities that Kazunoko wants to present. So we'll probably see a switch up in terms of like the jump ins. Kazunoko now with OD.
Yeah, almost plus by the way off of the leg slicer. So getting that throw in, Urio trying to contest. Still trying to maintain his positioning and at least push Kazunoko back. Yeah, see, he noticed Urio was just rather focused on throwing out some of these normals to kind of check Kazunoko's approaches. Like, if you're going to see on the ground, I might as well go airborne. Here comes the throw. No, he's going to knock on the door and then allow himself inward. One more set of throws for sure. Yeah, either way, Kazunoko, he made Urio think the exact same thing.
So much variance got to worry about. Kazunoko first round. Bar at the bottom utilized, but punishes the swift thrust outside the distance, spin drive smasher. Never shy about like using that SA gauge. Never shy about like getting that for the corner push, some little bit damage on there for that sweep, but there could have been a bigger punish from Urio to lead him outside the corner. Might regret that soon. Oh.
Yeah, this is looking so Kazunoko right now. He also had so much drive gauge behind him to finish off the combo if need be with level 2 tacked onto it, but he wants to ensure it. Another crouching heavy punch to prevent the jump. And then really adamant about getting these throws against Kazunoko, but he's just been so mobile. You can't. At the blink of an eye, there's no shot. Urio not ready for Kazunoko's approach. As predicted, by the way, a very hefty 2 rounds in favor of Kazunoko. And not even fully optimizing his situations with his drive rush or his meter.
It's aerial approach, man. Dive kick, then OD, then hooligan. Then the slicer as well. We've just seen so many different looks. Ready this time with the forward medium punch. Gets the DP right after with the drive rush behind it. Jab fireball to end things out. Perfect parry the DI. You really thought you DI me. Oh. He's paying for it with his drive gauge now.
Yeah, he's guessing so much on defense. Yo, damn! Word? The spiral arrow just like that, huh, Kazunoko? I'll get you in the right distance to make yourself safe, but damn, son. What a deep dive.
That DI. And then jump light kick to blow up the crouch fierce. Yo, the adjustments from Kazunoko, even though he is clearly in the lead, he wants to be in the lead even more. He wants to lap this guy. Jump light kick to deal with that crouch fierce at the proper angle, blows it up, gets the cross up, set point for him.
Another big open air. Urio very adamant about these throws. Kazunoko just knows exactly when he's in danger of that throw. Perfect parry.
Trade,
so
not too bad.
Hard to call what Kazunoko's going to do on defense.
DP in between the string. Yup. Lower the dive kick as well. Pressing the issue. Set level 2.
With the forward throw. One more touch for Kazunoko. The counter hit as well! You literally prefaced it perfectly, Cola. The talk of Kazunoko, of how he wants to dive kick perfectly. Spaced, catching Urio off guard multiple times. This was it had Kazunoko's name written all over it from the get-go.
Just how nasty he is when he takes to the skies, the variance, the approach. And then you saw him at the very end, adding it in like deep dive kicks at the tip of the toes. The spacing immaculate. This man, Kazunoko, definitely was destined to win that match. He was more than ready. And as you mentioned, like, it is so hard to prepare for Kazunoko just in general, or fight Kazunoko, because he is so different with that aerial approach. He keeps adding more and more things. He keeps stacking more and more aerial approaches to lead into better ground game, to lead into more damage off the OD. When he does land things, he gets more optimized from there. Like, that comfortability, you can't let him have that. And then he acclimated to like the anti-jumps that were happening. That crouch fierce was starting to catch the preemptive jumps. It wasn't doing a lot of damage, but to stop that from happening, he would do, well, like delayed back kick off there, off the hooligan, or jump right kick to cross him up. So like those are like smart additions to keep yourself further in the lead. Even without those, he probably would still won. Look at that. Counter deep with the toes. Kazunoko, 2-0. 20 game or 20 points, excuse me, not 20 games. 20 points right now. Could be having a 40 bomber happen, depending what happens here. Tagaki, it's up to you to stop this from happening.
I think Bonchan's stepping up. I think Bonchan's stepping up, and then in the reserve, like, so let's say Bonchan does fall. I think it's smart to have Shuto in the reserve for the Akuma mirror.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
That is free. Well, Sagat,
the face
unleashed. Bonchan ready for it.
Let's go.
It just makes sense. It just makes sense, chat, to have Bonchan work up a sweat on his stream against Kings Vega to face off against the young gun. This is actually going to be so interesting to see. I want to know what type of style Takagi is going to play against Bonchan, who's seen it all, right? This guy, Evo champion. He's been traveling before Takagi was even born. In fact, I was looking up old photos from the Third Strike days of 2004 to 2006. I see Bonchan just big chilling in the background, actually. He wasn't even playing Street Fighter 3 like that. He was definitely playing some Mahjong. But I've definitely seen all the old photos. He'd be hanging around.
He's like, what's going on over there? What are y'all doing over there? Pressing buttons? Maybe I'll join that in a few years. Either way, Bonchan, though, has been, again, as we mentioned, practicing with Kings Vega, to practice matchup. I'm sure either whether it be like Finrich or Takagi or any Blanca player, because they've all kind of been strong out there in Japan or just in the US or anywhere in general, everywhere. You know, we saw them practice quite a bit. I wonder what he has for him, though. You know, like you've been around the block, you've seen a lot of things. How did that practice come through? We saw it for Doggett, worked out. Will it work out for Sagat? If this doesn't go well, and if Bonchan does get bodied, not going to prophesize no demise, I'm not trying to say that at all, but if it does go bad for Bonchan, he loses. And if Shuto steps up, there's a chance that Shuto, there's a big chance actually, Shuto will play Ryu. If we get to that point, I'll just elaborate on it right now. I went to a stream recently and I was like, Shuto, why do I see Ryu on my screen, bro? I don't see Akuma, I see Ryu in a red fit. Why do I see this character? And he was like, oh yeah, I'm dropping Akuma. And you know how sometimes people are kind of a little bit hyperbolic, you know, things like that. They're like, oh yeah, I'm dropping this character and they'll switch back. It really felt like he was either putting this character in front of Akuma or at least playing with Akuma. Like maybe you won't hard drop Akuma, but that Ryu also might come through to avoid mirror matches and certain things like that. And I saw him practicing against some of the Akuma, so we'll see if that happens, if it needs to happen. But more importantly, I want to see what Bonchan has to deal with Blanca. And watching these Sagat players start to acclimate a little bit, it seems like Bonchan's understanding that fireballs are not the way. In Street Fighter 6, you have to drive rush a little bit more, hold that mid-range ground. If the fireball, it's in between pokes more than it is to pressure with zoning.
ここはちょっと勝たないといけないなと思ってます。男になる時だ。男になる時ですね。
A little bit of a calmer approach in terms of the pre-game interview, at least for now.
Yeah.
Hold on. All right, okay. Not as rambunctious as the previous pre-game interviews where he's like yelling. Hold on. Okay, now it's over. Now it's over. I wanted to make sure like he wasn't gonna go like buck wild on that one. I definitely slapped my knee on the desk. That hurt like a crazy. Anyways, I'm curious to see what kind of experience Takagi has against Sagat specifically. Like I actually don't know where his stream is. I actually haven't been able to follow him just yet. I only follow him on Twitter. I just haven't seen like to the full extent like how much he's been practicing. But is Amazon River Run, does it get low enough to the ground to avoid low tiger shot? I don't think I've ever practiced that.
I don't think so.
I actually don't know the answer. I wonder if chat knows, actually.
Yeah, Blanca players, have you tried to slide that, and what were your results? Because usually if I play a Blanca player, they don't even try that. Like in their mind, I don't think they think it works. So, and whenever I watch Zafrino play, I don't think it's happened to him yet. So I don't know. Yeah, let us know if y'all know.
I think
definitely would help out.
If I were to really look at the hitboxes behind it, let me pull up Blanca's hitbox and let me pull up Sagat's hitbox. So I'll just do it off of like visual learning, I guess.
Okay.
Let's see. So looking at low tiger shot right now. I think it's still able to catch, unless I'm tripping. I think I might be tripping. Hold on, it's in slow motion. I think it still hits, but barely. I'd have to double check. That's a hard call, honestly. I think it still hits, but that's just me like guesstimating off of the visuals.
We're about to find out in person. First to 3, Takagi. Got to do it for his team. Try for a stand medium to start things off. Get the back fierce right after that. That corner carry.
After all, he could just jump also. If we're really talking about it, like trying to avoid a low tiger shot, he could just jump. Like how fast his jump is, how sharp of an angle he comes down at. So I think he's just fine either way.
Yeah, the recovery. Yeah. Oh, I like the side switch though. Able to get out of dodge with that perfect parry.
Look at the drive.
Drive cage.
No whip punish there. I like that. Perfect parry. Micro walk forward into the back heavy. Not a lot of damage off of that, but I mean, it was a perfect parry regardless. So using that Tiger Knee to close the gap for Oki, rather smart. The river running against the dry toes. And the combo. I like that trade. For Takagi going into Lightning Beast to get the rest of Bonchan out of the way. No. Why do you let it go? Why do you let it go? He's dead!
Oh no! Blessings from above. Bonchan executing him. First round. Oh my god! But why do you let it go? I don't know.
What happened? Oh, we'll take that opener though. Crouching medium punches the counter hit against Bonchan. Very meaty back medium kick. Backing away as soon as his turn is over. I like the range that Takagi is playing at. A little awkward too in the exchange though. The knees. Catching Bonchan a little bit harder on the startup for some of those normals, especially the low step kick. Roundhouse checking in. Dude, Takagi is mad active.
Walls even with the buttons. Not trying to slide any of these high shots at all. During that lockdown, driver stand medium with the throw right after it. Bonchan get the Tiger Nexus, the medium ender. Baits out the only DP for free. Keep it up level 2 off of this. Should be able to, yes. There it is.
This guy is sick. Give him the toes. Tiger Raid. It's enough damage. Jesus Christ. What a conversion off of an OD ball punish. OD up ball punish, by the way. The big punish counter with the for the high step kick into the back heavy punch. The micro step from Bonchan looking so sick. Jesus.
I mean, this character kind of technical, but the fact of the matter is, if you can dump it out like that, if you have the execution, it's execution. Right back in with the crouching medium punch, though. Sweep for the hard knockdown. ODDP on the quick rise. Bonchan awake and aware. Drive rush overhead blocked out, though. Trace Sagaki. Take back his turn. Drive rush heavy kick. As a anti-drive rush tool, it's great, but as a drive rush tool, it's super good too as well. Moving wall.
Oh. Step kick. Micro step forward again. Drive rush is on in. Damn, the damage being built up, but the meter also built up for Sagata is rather nice. Oi. He dropped, but still. Managing to get a couple of counter hits. You tried to DI him, not today. Takagi actually very lucky that it took the rest of Bonchan's life.
Yeah. For the heavy kick, hits it with the heavy DP. Boss up the crouching medium kick. Level 2 is gonna start though. To the drop gauge. Oh, more so the hesitation and the follow-ups all delete the rest of the drive gauge here from Bonchan. Hard to call it when you want to go for like the parry or be able to anti-air that, or even block it out. That range. Held parry against a wake-up level 2. Saps the drive gauge and the held. Little block chain. Assist me. DI. Block out, but the back medium kick's gonna hit. Oh, I thought the heavy would follow up.
Oh, this is tough. Trying to jump back out of the corner. Takagi, OD ball. Dude, For one thing, Takagi doing a really great job of threatening with the first jump back, giving Bon-Chan that false hope, and then immediately afterwards getting the OD air ball to finish off the job. That was mad smart. And also, like, Takagi's really sharp in catching what Bon-Chan's defensive decisions are in that corner, right? He's punished numerous jump backs with roundhouse and also just maintained his positioning. Didn't be, all right, wasn't overzealous, but overcommitting to offense. I'm really enjoying this style of play.
Yeah. Winding back down when he needs to. OD that time. Switching it up. Bon-Chan's drive gauge very depleted right now. Does get the side underneath the fireball. Side switch. Knee bombs. Impact. Immediately goes for it before he can build up that level 1. He's got a little Blanca-chan. For another one. I like that. Pressure on with another one. Rock Crusher. Brother.
Sheesh. That was the most veteran play I've seen from Takagi. That was so well orchestrated. And him setting up for a second Blanca-chan, well played, man.
Yeah. Versus level 2. Going straight down, perfect parry. We see a big jump in punish, yo, Bon-Chan ready with it. Even out of mid-screen, a lot of distance too as well. Take that trade.
Damn, chunking at the drive gauge. Constantly taking his turn back too. Oos. Nice punish counter too. Oh, a little bit of a fake out against Bon-Chan. Perfect parry against the overhead. Micro step forward again. You know it. Tiger knee. Get this Oki. Drive rush forward.
Then he dashes up or drive rushes up and blocks out that crouching middle kick, knowing that that's been a big defensive tool on wake up. Side switch though. Eat him up. Too far for the Rock Crusher. No whip punish though. Bon-Chan in burnout, but not out of options. It's a one touch. It's a low shot. Game to game, round to round, all even. Oh. Neutral jumping the overhead. Damn, he knew it again. And was able to DP that to level 3. No OD gauge necessary. I'm taking yours.
Hella burnout. Nice jump reset. Takagi did call.
No shots to lock him down. He's content to do so. Careful these jump ins. Drive rush throw. Keeping the bar up. Keeping the pressure. OD fireball. Don't fall on it. Another low shot. Drive rush. Stand light in the chip. That's going to be your Bon-Chan. Weathering the level 2 storms. Being solid with a perfect parries and understanding what to do against level 2 overall. The practice paid off, but it's not over. Let me not call it just yet. He's playing so sick right now.
I will 100% agree to that, man. Takagi is playing like it's tournament life at a CPT, right? I feel like this is the strongest he's played thus far.
100%. Neutral's been great. With punishes have been fantastic. But Bon-Chan's been so good at disrupting a lot of this with perfect parries, great defensive decisions with him, and optimizing the damage when given. That's what you gotta do with Sagat. You don't have a choice.
Damn, I'm really curious about that slide now. It's really bothering the heck out of me.
Yeah. Someone hit the lab.
It's such a scary pace. You try to go for the command grab. A little bit of a punish, going for the sweep. That hard knockdown, just to get the side switch as well is pretty important. How does he know? How does he actually know?
That's actually wild. It's not gonna combo, so you're gonna play a button right after that. I don't know, but either way, flip out works out. Bon-Chan getting the counter hit. This should do it. Bon-Chan with the heavy DP to put himself on set point. He knows what Sagat got. The king might be back.
Low kick? Yes, sir.
Combo.
Low step. Oh boy. Takagi kind of giving it away with that parry. A little bit scary too. Damn, +2s all over the place. Hella drainage to the drive gauge, but Bon-Chan actually draining a little bit of his own. He's trying to get it. He thought he had the good firm. Heavy punch into roundhouse is gonna be what causes the disruption. Takagi setting up little fella. Also when Lightning Beast has a little bit of juice left to get at least one sequence. Perfect parry. Instead, that sequence no longer there temporarily. Here comes little fella.
It's coming through. Oh, gets a turn. After electricity, Boncha with a lot of bar to give right now. Opens him up with a crouching medium kick. Back fierce fireball, heavy kick, DP level 3. A lot of scaling on this though. But this is the king.
A ton of scaling on this. No way. It doesn't kill, barely alive.
DI?
Oh, no way. You could actually kill with... No, you could actually get a setup instead. Wait, this doesn't kill. He has to set up the little fella. Lightning Beast, block string, no! What an excellent drive reversal from Bonchan! Has to go for the Lightning Beast now. Carrying the chip! He jumps over the regular high tiger shot. Can you believe it? What a read from Takagi!
Staying alive when in chip territory to prevent a 40 bomb. He's still in. Bonchan, get hit with the heavy kick though. No big follow-up right after that though. Takagi not taking his turn back. We saw that previously. Trying to get parried. See, medium kick to counter poke the fireball as well. Try to switch it up a little bit. Chunks of drive gauge just getting depleted on both sides. Step kick, no counter hit. So no follow-up.
Another jump in, another successful read. OD uppercut, Bonchan, he's sick of the offensive pressure. He's playing a couple of shots until he can get his drive gauge or at least a drive rush going. Takagi, a little passive right now. Now checking the drive rush. A little bit of impatience coming in from Bonchan, and you see it.
Back fierce trades. No throw. Try to walk back. It works out. The crouching kick. Able to catch now. Level 2. Can you survive the Lightning Beast? Perfect parry. Jump fierce punish again. Look at the board, the bottom. He gonna build it up. DP level 3, the king.
He's still alive. He's still alive, even if it's critical art. No, he's not alive too!
Oh my God!
He's absolutely dead! I thought he was living. I thought he was living because of how much life was left and all considering because of the scaling. Man, no shot did that critical art barely killed off. That is actually crazy. I thought he was gonna live considering how he started that combo. Bonchan immediately cutting off the camera, going straight to his kids and his wife. I actually can't believe that critical art killed.
The only reason I was even able to have a thought in my mind that that was going to kill was I looked at his reaction. The elation on his face for a second, I was like, all right, it's over. He knows. If he knows it's over, it's over. But I could have been a stand-up moment right there where he stands up and gets body. But it wasn't. Well calculated. Well done, Bonchan, taking it. That practice worked out. We saw them get together in practice how to fight Blanca and look at the reward. A huge 40 bomb on CAG Osaka. And a lot of that was fighting the Blanca, understanding what to do against level 2, with a DP, the defense, the tendencies. Okay. Heavy kick hits and punish counter. They might go for like a bigger button, elongated button right after that. And you saw Bonchan perfect parry that a few times where at the very end, Takagi hit heavy kick, got punish counter. He said, I'm not doing anything else. Because last time he perfect parried me. The adaptations were fantastic. The optimizations. The king is back.
God, dude.
Yo.
He did jump overhead for no reason, by the way. I don't even know what he was trying to catch. And then he jumped again. But look at how many hits that went into that combo, and the damage output afterwards still to kill. My God, dude, that was crazy. Oh my God, that was perfect parry scaling, by the way. That's why I was so adamant that it wasn't gonna kill. That's what in the hell, dude. I almost cursed up a storm when I saw it. I was like, ain't no way, dude. I definitely almost cursed on the stream. Jesus, man. Hey, I will say though,
you know,
Takagi is, I think he might be one of the MVPs coming up. If he's playing this well, like week after week, I don't know who's going to be stopping him for at least this division. Like, you have the contention for Rookie of the Year between like Sahara and Takagi for sure in Division S. But like, looking at Division F, I don't know who would like even shine a light towards these cats. These two specifically. Adelie, probably. But
Yeah, probably
out of
but-
everyone else, I don't know who else, right?
The fact that he played so well that maybe Tsubasa, but you gotta get gear. Obviously, he's not, leading right now. But the way that Takagi played though today was insane. Like his neutral was great. His jump back balls were fantastic. His level 2 was actually pretty good. It's just that it took them getting together for hours to study Blanca. That's the reason why Bonchan and the rest won in the Blanca matchups. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's how good Takagi is that people got together, obviously to fight Fenrich and other Blanca players too as well, but he was a big standout star because they were talking about him in the chat. But that's how much they were afraid of him. Like, yeah, Bonchan won that 3-1, but they had to prepare for him for hours together as a unit on stream in public. So, like, I think that shows to me that he definitely is a standout star and could definitely be an MVP or considered an MVP. I think the next couple of games that he shows out, he's going to show out. We're getting the interview, though, from the winner. Congrats to the big 40 bomb for Crazy Raccoon. Shuto said, too strong. I'm puzzled. We've been changing characters from the start of the season, and each characters are getting better and better. Now, as mentioned, Shuto, you didn't get to play today, but there was a big chance he was going to play Ryu because we've seen him play Ryu on his streams. We've seen him get ready for the Akuma matchup. There was a big chance he was probably going to play Ryu. I don't know if it's Street Fighter League ready. I don't know how well he did in the World Warrior. Just looking from how he plays right now, he has to clean up a few things, but obviously League is a different sort of beast. But I'm curious to see how that's going to work out, or if he'll just go back to Akuma. Might be that.
What a wild outcome. I don't want Bonchan to ever switch off. I'll tell you what, man. Let him play the king all the time. Let him play the king. You know what's funny about the interviews coming in as well? Like Dogura is getting his lines in as well. When we mentioned the Fenrich versus Dogura matchup, we talked about both the characters kind of playing a little bit of a counter hit style, kind of playing back. Dogura actually had that in mind in his interview. He's like, I didn't want to go defensive against Fenrich, so I tried attacking when I had the chance. Right? So seeing him start aggressively with Elena is something that I really enjoyed about his progress. Taking a character that feels like they have to act second. And I actually talked to Seijam about this a bunch throughout the course of her release. He also feels the same type of way where he feels like Elena is going to be acting second a bunch with her overall toolkit. So seeing Dogura finding ways to start off with offense has been rather impressive.
Yeah, trying to switch up in terms of like the pacing has been really good too as well. And understanding like if other characters can act second and get more reward, depending on the scenarios and having to be defensive after that, like and having to suss up the matchup as we saw like the DP against like the air blocker ball level 2. Like, how do I route this back? If I have to play on defense, like, what am I doing here? Like, that just shows that Dogura's study has been also really well. So good stuff to him. I like that people are adjusting these characters, like, whether they be like Sagat or Elena, seeing that there are strengths, but it might take a while to figure out how to play them, when to play their strengths, and what to do with them with the matchups. I feel like Sagat is really much of a, if I understand the matchup more, I'm gonna have a better chance. Like, there's not really a definite way to get my win condition. Like Ken, you go forward into corner carry into that's like an easier to access sort of win condition. Even Akuma feels like it's easier to find confirms off of things to lead into big damage towards the corner with the heavy Tatsu, whatever, towards the corner, whatever, right? But for Sagat, it feels like it's hard to find that win condition, so like the matchups getting sussed out is going to help him even more and more. So I think that's why we see Sagat getting better and better in the hands of Bonchan. He understands where to play fireballs. You saw him not throwing out so many bad fireballs, or fireballs that were getting jumped in on. Yes, at the end he got jumped in on, but there weren't as many as we saw previously when he was starting to play the character. So see the evolution out there. Again, as you mentioned, I hope to see him just stick with this character. The Akuma was great, but this Sagat, I think he has what it takes.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, right? Like he doesn't have like the very obvious win conditions that gets towards lethal, but I think like his damage compensates for those instances, right? Like the damage output that Suggestive does have been so like drastic, and it does sometimes lead to like a decent corner push. And also his toolkit up close makes it rather difficult to defend against without sacrificing too much drive gauge, right? We've seen how many times Bonchan has gotten away with like +2 scenarios over and over again, right? He's done like medium punch, medium punch, medium punch, right? If he could change the timing on it too, to prevent a perfect parry from even happening, and you don't even want to try to contest with the button, because if you guess wrong, you're eating fat damage again, only to go back to square one and guess. So, although, to summarize, he's got so much room in regards to getting some of these clean hits that are just as effective, if not getting like single hits into like a full sequence of lethal in comparison to like Ken and Akuma. Right? He kind of worked for it a little bit more, in my opinion.
He's still a strong pick though. Kazunoko said, I was really practicing for Jamie, but it all went well. People are asking me when I'd be using Jamie, but the practice worked out here, making Oreo not letting Jamie go. You know, it's funny because I just said that recently. I was like, when is Kazunoko going to pull out the Jamie? Or when will we even have a necessity or a chance to even do so? I don't even know what matchups we work out here. But it's great that he, you know, was able to work out no matter what matchup came his way from Oreo. Bancha said, I thought I'd be winning more easily, but I thought Tagaki was strong. But anyway, you all see the damage of that last combo? This is why I'm using Sagat. He understands what's fun about the character. He loves seeing life go like this, and I like that. I like that he enjoys the character.
なおですね、本日のメインインタビュアーは天ゆいもかさんとなりますので、ぜひ
I love that for him. Even he was surprised. Like, you can't tell me that he wasn't surprised just based off of that answer.
Did you see the damage? Even a perfect parry? Dogra says, next up is Good 8 Squad, and we are on the away side. It'll be one of the most difficult matches for us. We'll do our best. And Shuto and I are going to Evo France, so if you will all cheer for us there too, it'd be nice. So you'll be seeing them in the offline thing, and again, they'll be able to bring that knowledge and gameplay and energy back to Street Fighter League, and possibly Shuto with more experience on that Ryu. Now that you have to play it today, it's perfect. That means he'll get it ready for the possibility of what's coming up with Street Fighter League, or maybe he'll just stick with the Akuma, excuse me. But that is 40 points. A big bomb here for Crazy Raccoon and a big deficit for CHE Osaka.
Pretty wild, pretty wild. 2 out of 3, not too bad, at least in predictions, but the way that Takagi was playing, the way that Fenrich was playing also, actually Fenrich has been playing phenomenally, at least these last couple of weeks. It may not have equated to like 100% wins, but I think his Blanca is looking rather strong. And also him having JP as a backup just in case makes him even a bigger threat. But I think Takagi is definitely taking the spotlight with that performance. Despite taking the L, I am very excited to see how he progresses towards the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our first half of the season of Division S. I am rather floored to see how it all went down in regards to the results, right? We started things off with Good 8 Squad, Crazy Raccoon, Saishunkan, Seoul, Kumamoto off at the top. They had the home field advantage throughout the entirety of it. It didn't spell quite the success that Seoul wanted, as you see Nagoya NTPOJA take it down. But Victrix 5 Gaming, as well as CHE Osaka, currently in the bottom of the pool thus far because of this week's results. But you see a significant blow up for the first two teams, right? 140 points for Good 8 Squad, 130 for Crazy Raccoon, and Saishunkan, Seoul, Kumamoto. No big change from these last couple of weeks in terms of who the top dogs are here in Division S.
That could all change later on, but before we get to any of that, 17th is when we're going to return. Reject versus Fukushima Ibushigen. Hiroshima Team Itsuka going up against Zeta, and then Detonation Focus Me versus Pharrell will happen when we return with more Street Fighter League. So you have a lot of bangers to look forward to. And once again, at that point, C Viper going to be out. I don't think she's playable for like, what, 2 weeks or something like that. I forgot the rule. It might be a little bit before we even see her, before anyone's... is it 2 weeks or 10 days? I remember it's 10 days over at Evo.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure.
I'll have to check that rule.
I can type it up right now if you want to keep going. I can check it out for you.
Okay, but anyway. Here's what's scheduled on the 21st. Crazy Raccoon, as mentioned, Good 8 Squad, CHE Osaka, NTPOJA, and then Fabu Gaming versus Seoul on the 21st of October. Bangers upon bangers when it comes to these bouts out here at Street Fighter League and even outside. The World Warrior is still going to be coming out for Japan. They have another one to go through. And if y'all didn't see the last one, we'll go watch that. Lily players, stand up, because your character can do it. As we mentioned, okay? All right, let's take a look at this right here. Schedule, screenshot it, put it in your memory banks. We also have the World Warrior on the 3rd and 26th. You have all your Street Fighter League for the October, and then in November, as well as the 1st and 2nd for the final CPT event. And of course, the 4th World Warrior is going to be on the 30th, with League in between all that sandwich. great Street Fighter League action.
Yeah, this is definitely a spicy type of sandwich in regards to like how many things are going on in the realm of CPTs. And then also to conclude it in December, we have our playoffs on the 13th and 14th of December for both of our teams in Division S and Division F to lead up into the big grand finals. But also in between, again, a lot of different looks. You see it in January. We have World Warrior Japan #5, and then the end of January, the grand finals of Street Fighter League Japan. The whole thing going through, and the regional finals that follow suit afterwards. But just to answer your question, DLCs are going to be barred for 2 weeks. So a pretty decent grace period for at least the 17th to happen for Division F before any sort of changes come through. And also a lot of time in between from the 17th up until maybe the Chengdu major that happens at the end of the month. But also, it's free roaming for a lot of the NA players and also the European players. So we'll see how it goes. Like, there's not going to be any big CPT events for them, at least coming up next weekend. But there's going to be a big weekend ahead of us as we see it. EVO France coming up in just a few days. You guys really don't want to miss this one. It's going to be intense. I am definitely going to be losing my sleep just to watch all the action. You guys cannot afford to miss it, as it is the second to last qualifying event to shoot yourself into Capcom Cup 12 directly.
A lot of great offline action right there. A lot of people in contention for points, and also that first place position that puts you over at Capcom Cup. We're having a public viewing for that third World Warrior, it looks like. So y'all, if you're in the area, y'all can pull up, or you can hit the QR code and join them. But either way, it's cool to see people pulling up just to see that World Warrior action. Last time, all the seats were filled, it looked like, and I'm assuming every single time that they have it, they're going to be super filled. I mean, watching the development of Street Fighter out in Japan has been nothing short of amazing. Seeing Lily win, Daigo in that top position, Sahara keeping that dominance, even though he has already qualified for Capcom Cup. And then Kawano with the Luke as well. Excellent, excellent. Street Fighter never disappoints out in land Japan, whether it be World Warrior or even Street Fighter League. And I can't wait to return. But we're going to have to take a little bit of a break. Y'all will have EVO France to take care of you for a little bit. As Vicious said, tune into that. Peep that offline action. I'm rooting for some players out there. I think either way, it's going to be some great action regardless. But when we return, we're going to have more on the 17th. So do be prepared for that. Lose your sleep or catch the VODs, whatever it may be. Make sure that you are locking into every bit of Street Fighter League action out here. But that's been our time. I'm St. Cola. That's Vicious, and we've had a great time out here commentating, seeing the King win with that combo. Bunch, I can't wait to go to his stream and kind of be like, yo, man, Sagat's strong? Huh? Sagat's strong? I troll him every single time. And he's like, yeah, man, Sagat's good. He's like, yeah.
He's real good. That is for damn sure. Hey, everybody in the chat, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Again, if you lost sleep over it, we appreciate you. If you're barely getting up, hey, good morning. Good luck with the rest of your day. We'll definitely see you all towards EVO France. I'm so excited for it, man. Hopefully there's a new rising star. In the meantime, again, we're going to get geared up for Division F in just another week. This half has been so ecstatic, and we do appreciate you guys joining in for the ride and for the journey. It's not even close to over yet. Not even a bit.
We hit that halfway point. Now it's going to get more devious and more wicked out here in the streets for Street Fighter League Japan. Get towards that playoff, and we get towards the qualification spot. Remember, 3 on both sides for division, moving through. After that, only 1 from each division moving to the grand finals. But that's a ways away. Once again, we'll see what happens with the EVO stuff and what happens with C Viper. I'm excited to see what happens with that character. I don't have the handsome player. I'm going to let Sherry do that, and other people do that, and I'll just watch from afar and say, have fun and good luck, and hopefully don't body me, because that character looks like she's going to have some very nasty mix. I'm sure you've had times with her, and you got to see some of her power, and we'll see some of that pulling up when that character releases. But that's it for us. People, thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying this action. And as always, stay safe, and we will see you in the streets. Have a good one.
この後選手の音声入り本日のハイライト動画を流しますので、こちらもお楽しみに。それではディビジョン F 第5節でお会いいたしましょう。さよなら。パブリックビューイングも楽しんでいこうぜ。あ、久保もいる。久保いれる。はい、OK？ OK！ 龍吉舞対するは川野ルク。行ってみましょう。お願いします。中から打ち上げてサムラライジング。 こはしっかりガードして投げている。おっからバーンとしたのカードまだ足りないぞ。
ちょっとあります。
最後は
うわーナイス
ナイス。
バウンド回復した。ラッシュダウン当たっている藤村にゲージはある。
これは何でもそうですね、リーサルですね。
倒し切りの一さあ行幸の一手となった。少しでさあしかしそこから倒し
オッケーナイスナイスナイス。アウトも見えてしまいますね。
うまい。
うまい。
差し返したのは模型。いや模型の方がワンタッチ。おお2フリッカー2発。そして倒し切り。
倒し切り偉い。
模型にもチャンスは十分ある。さあただ
体力がないんでそう
キャンセルフリック。
いや、まだやばいやつ。
ナイスサーラナイス。
さあ聖夜のチュンリーに対して小林残儀を当てていったと。しかしうわー走ってきた。どうするサイクロン巻き込んで打撃卓追撃はどうする。2パットからうわーインパクトを吸い込んでいる。さあ小林をじっくり歩いて追突に差し返し。
うまいうますぎうますぎ。はい素晴らしい100億点。素晴らしい。
投げまで入って画面端アッパーから発衝撃投げていく。さあいい形を作っているのはマチョボー。
さあ D ゲージをどんどん削って
大ファンで迎えた。
走ったの偉いっすね。
これはあるか。ゲージはしっかり溜まった。
ナイス。さすがいいよ。
さあバーンアウト中の KB でもどう追うか。愛知から打ってきた。
素晴らしい反応。
狙っていたか。
素晴らしい。ダブル2が重なるんでそうですね。
うわーうますぎ。またもやアッパーを釣り出す。完全に勝負を分けた。
うわーいやまあ
別々のチームになってかつリーダー同士の対戦となりますが、少しでも成長した姿を見せてきたらいいなと思います。
ナルオの呼び込みよかったぜ。
ありがとう。
中段足して食らっている。
これはまあちょっと残るかな。
フェニッチのラウンドになるか。
残らないか。そうか。
さあここからフェニッチゲージはなし。中段立って
惜しい。どんまいどんまい。惜しかった。すいません。いい試合だったこれは。うわよくそうしたな今。
すごい。
ここで早めに仕掛けたいですけど風間さんもやっぱりそうですね距離を。打撃はダメ。
クリスからザルだ。家族を前に出る。ノーワンしていく。
ナイス。
しまったのは
さあ高木ここは生発動。
結構苦しいかもしれない。
ガードを許さない。上発動ライトニングビーストジャストなのか。上から押しのぎだ。
これは
たまるのか。ボヌスからアバがそしてグリツから
どうだ。これどうだ。
さあどうなる。ここは決まった。
うわいったか。マジか。ギリギリだった。
いってまえ
いってまえ。よっしゃー。ナイス。いやうまっ。危なかった。ナイス。マジでいいな。うますぎねんけど。うますぎ。いや行くと思わんかった。担当し